Diary of a Retired Black Man podcast, and we are joined with Freedom Unique, the Casa, aka Short Circuit, aka LABD, No Limit East, Capo, aka Father of the Little Soldiers. Anything else you want to throw in there, big dog?
Shit, the God, man.
Yep.
Black man is God, man. And we tired.
Exactly.
A tired God.
Yes, Lord. So, short, man, for the folks out there that aren't familiar, because, we're going to have some listeners that are familiar, we're going to have some that aren't familiar, and I'm going to definitely bring those up to speed who aren't familiar anyway, but, give us a little introduction or a little introduction about yourself.
Well, I'm an East Coast, you know what I'm saying, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, type of man. I stemmed from there, and I stretched all the way. I pretty much did the whole America. You know what I mean? So I moved around a lot, and so I've been rhyming since '85, late '84, '85. I knew all the big rappers coming up: LL, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, Dougie. I knew everybody. Everybody was close, but at that time, nobody was, trying to push nobody to get no deals. So I happened to go out to California years later. And when I went out to Cali, I met Master P on a plane. You understand what I'm saying? And at the time, my two sons, who were 6 or 7 years old, Free Quan and Freedom Unique, they was writing rhymes and spitting rhymes and shit. Well, not really writing. I was doing the writing, and they was doing the performing. But my 7-year-old, Freedom Unique, he was actually, helping with the critiquing of the lyrics and all that at that age, at 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
When we started writing. So when I went to California, like I said, I met Master P on a plane 32,000 feet in the air, and I happened to have their tape in my back pocket. And so I approached him and told him about them. I told him that, listen, I said, I got two kids, 6 or 7 years old, that battle anybody on your whole squad. And he looked in my eyes, and like, at first he looked in my eyes on something, you gotta be kidding me, but he saw I wasn't kidding. So he said, listen, when this plane land, meet me at this door. So when the plane landed, I was knocking the shit out of people to get to the door.
Yeah.
So I get to the door, me and him walk out. We go to get a Walkman, because this was in '98. So we go to get a Walkman out of the gift store in the airport, and they didn't have one. They had got rid of their last one or whatever.
Wow.
So we went to another spot, and they had it. So we bought it from there, and he was by himself too. Well, I thought he was by himself at that time. This is Master P. He was already 6 platinum, all this type of shit by the time I met him.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got the Walkman, put the tape in. He started bobbing his head. But to me, he wasn't bobbing his head hard enough. I said, I got some more shit, but it's in my bag. He said, where your bag at? I said, bag is plain. So we went down there, and we got the tape. As soon as he heard the first couple bars, he's like, yo, let me have this. And I never was the type to give away my music, not to nobody, not to a president. That was one of the reasons I didn't have a deal, because I wouldn't,
of course, you ain't willing to really just, not compromise, but just give something up like that, in a sense.
I wasn't willing to separate from my music, so wherever my music went, I had to go. And so at this time, he was like, yo, let me get this. As soon as he heard the first couple of bars, and I looked at him, put my head down, I was huffing and puffing, and I just passed it to him. I was like, yo, just keep it real with me. He gave me his number and everything. He said, yo, call me tomorrow around 12 o'clock, LA time and all this. So, the next day I called him and shit, and he ain't pick up. I'm like, here we go with this sucker shit, you know what I'm saying? Then he called back. He was like, yo, come downtown, LA, come right over here, blah, 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 blah. So me and my man jumps in the hoopty. We hit Crenshaw and Slauson over there where Nipsey Hussle got, C-Stat and everything. So we hit Crenshaw, Slauson. We drove out, got on the highway. We went downtown. When we got down there, we pulled up, and this guy came out and shit. we didn't have cell phones back then, unless they was illegal. You know what I'm saying? So the guy came downstairs and he held the car down and told us to go upstairs to like the 16th floor or something like that. As soon as we get up there, we see pictures of Ice Cube and Hove. It was Priority Records.
Oh wow! Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, so now, all we seeing all them pictures now, everything was Master P, no limit. I'm like, oh shit, this guy owned this fucking office. So we get in the office, and Master P told me to play the music that I had. So I threw the music on a big system that they had. It was a big round table, and there was about 12 people in there sitting at the table, and him.
Okay.
And me and my man. And so I put the tape in. It was rocking. You gotta understand, they listening to a 6 and 7-year-old.
Yeah, I've got a vision. I'm visualizing it in my head as you go on, but continue, bro.
Right. So they rocking a little bit and shit, but to me, it's not enough. They're not rocking hard enough. So I shut the music off, and I was like, listen, I call them right now. I said, yo, y'all got a speakerphone? They said, sure. So I got on the speakerphone. I'm calling them, and I called them and shit, and they was on the east. I called them. I'm like, yo, peace. And they was like, peace, pop, this, that, and the third. And after they said that, I said, yo, I got Master P here and stuff like that. They had saw me watch his I'm About It movie before, so they kind of knew who he was.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? And the I'm About It joint out at that time. So when they said peace to him and everything like that, he laughed because it was like these little boys sound so militant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was just had knowledge of self at that age.
Of course, you can hear that, especially in their music and stuff. So but we'll get into that. But
right. So they said peace to him and everything like that. And then I said, yeah. I said, yeah. And I said, listen, hit this joint, Frequan. And Frequan hit the joint. He hit the joint. I said, stop. As soon as I said stop, he stopped on the dime. Then I said, yo, Akeem, which is Freedom Unique. I said, yo, hit this. And he hit it. Blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, stop. He stopped on the dime. Then I went back to Frequan. I said, Frequan, hit this. Blah, 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 blah. He hit it. Then I said, stop. He stopped. Then I hit it, Freedom again. He did it. Then when I hit Frequan for the third time, I said, yo, what's your age? And he, at the time, he was with me, so he don't really speak normal. He not going to say 6 years old. He said equality years old. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm equality years old. Pop, you know how old I am. He got smart with me on the phone, and they start laughing and shit. But they didn't understand what equality years old meant.
They didn't get the science on that, yeah.
Right, they didn't catch it, you know what I mean? So then I said, yo, what's that age in other terms? And he was lost. He's like, what do you mean, other terms? You know what I'm saying? We speak mathematics. I said, what number is that? And he said, oh, I'm 6 years old. And their mouth dropped to the floor. They didn't even have to get to his brother. As soon as they heard, because the shit he was spitting, you know what I mean?
Of course.
If you listen to the whole Soldier album and you hear some of the shit he was saying.
Well, I was going to ask at that time, was it, because I know we heard a lot of the stuff on the Little Soldier album, and we can guess that was the energy and the essence that the Little Soldiers were coming with from before, because, like everybody at No Limit, they had their own unique sound and their own unique stuff that they rapped about. Nobody else wasn't really putting things together how they did at the same time, so,
Nah, they was lyrical. They was East Coast too. That was the difference.
That was the difference, yeah.
We was the only group from the East Coast, so we didn't have the down south slur. We didn't have the down south slang. We had straight bars.
And what was that like going into like a label like No Limit with so much, MCs? Definitely share of lyricists in its own right. Some, greater than others when it comes to lyricism and stuff. But coming in from the East Coast and especially from, the mecca of like hip hop and stuff like that. And what was was you well received? Because if I remember right, y'all were the first real East Coast artists with No Limit, right?
We was the only East Coast artist with No Limit. The only East Coast shit they had did before that was with Foxy Brown.
Okay, yeah, to get the party started, yeah.
Yeah, they had some Foxy Brown with me and X and P on it. You know what I'm saying? So, we was the only joints out there. And initially, I wasn't signing. I had, put everything into my sons. I wasn't signing. So this was only Little Soldiers you're talking about. They didn't hear me rhyme at all.
Of course.
All they heard was my son. And so they received us well because they saw two little kids at them ages, 6 or 7 years old, who was not playing. They wasn't talking about no big money and all this. They was talking about school. They was talking about homework. They was talking about cleaning their room. They was talking, but it was put in such an elegant, lyrical, hip-hop way that you can't deny it.
Of course.
And so...
and they gave a lot of perspective for the young generation, even just talking about what it was like growing up in certain communities, having certain experiences, and really getting into the psyche of a young black child growing up, which is
right. You know what's funny that today is April 27th, right?
Yeah.
And April 27th is when the Little Soldiers Boot Camp album actually drops. So it's funny that we're on this conversation right now. It's really, this is how mathematics don't lie.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
1999, April 27th, this day right here today is when the Little Soldiers Boot Camp album dropped.
Wow.
No video. It's a whole difficult, I don't know, we would have to spend like 5 hours on the phone for me to get you to understand things. On No Limit, just let me try a little bit. On No Limit, everybody had a single on their album. Everybody had a single. And I say a single, they have a single with a video.
At least one.
Right? Little Soldiers didn't have no single because we came in so prepared for work. We had over 200 songs. You understand? These was 6 and 7 years old. They couldn't really read and write, but they knew that they had 200 songs on their brain because I'm a writer. I write all the time. I got about 23,000 songs written right now.
Incredible.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. So all I do, once my pen hit the paper, I'm gone. So at this time, it was the only group on No Limit, only artist on No Limit who didn't have
like a single out video.
Yeah, single. They had songs out, but it wasn't for their album. Master P took them songs and put them on different albums, and these albums was gold or platinum albums.
I got you. Yeah.
For instance, Mean Green, Major Players. That was the first one.
Okay.
Which the song was called Close to You. Close to You is a song to the mothers. It's actually the first song ever in hip-hop from a child to the mother. The first ever. It's the first ever song, and it's called Close to You. And like I said, it's to
I remember it's a very deep song, and I mean, even for a youngster, so poignant with the lyrics.
And it was like, it was the actual song that Master P had heard in the airport when we went to the baggage claim. That's the one he heard a few bars and he was like, yo, let me get this.
Okay.
And, that's the one. And, we shot the video for that. Like, after I met Master P, we shot the video like the next week after, and I can go, the story is so crazy, man. I've been leaping all over the place. I didn't even get to the part where when we was in the office that first, that second day I saw him, he gave me $10,000. He didn't want me to sign anything. He just gave me $10,000 and was like, all right, yo, go finish the album. Go back to the East and finish the album. You know what I mean? This was unprecedented in those days.
Of course.
They would give you a little bit of money and just be like, yo, sign your life away. Master P, this is the street connected. Master P is a street dude. People I don't know why they don't recognize he's from the streets.
Well, I'm glad you definitely said that because it was one of the things we wanted to touch on because especially, we know how the industry is and how the game is and sometimes P, he get a good rep and sometimes he get a bad rep from people who don't really understand that a lot of the stuff he did, he didn't necessarily even need to do. And he done things that, especially at a point in the game where other people wouldn't have been willing to give people some kind of opportunities or.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
That's him. And they, like I said, he gave me the $10,000 and they have to sign nothing. I didn't want to take it because it just felt like robbery.
Wow.
What happened? What happened was he connected with another street nigga like he is.
Yep.
And so he just by remember you said earlier, you said, yo, you know how you really don't know a person, but you hear something and you say, yeah, that's one of the real ones.
Of course.
That's what Master P did.
Yep.
So Master P already knew that my honor and him and I being like the same kind of people, that I was only going to return that I wasn't going to just take his money and just disappear, because I could have.
Of course.
He knew that wasn't going to happen. He knew I was going to stay to my word. He knew this is the difference between these streets and these suburban-minded people. The streets have a code, and a lot of people don't understand that. This is why we don't snitch. This is why we don't rape. This is why we don't, backstab and stuff like that. Because we have that code that we live by, that honor that was passed to us by our mothers or our fathers or both, or our grandmothers or aunties or what have you.
Right on.
Streets teach you these things. And he knew that code. He was familiar with that code. So him giving me 10 grand and not knowing me from a can of paint, not knowing where I live, no address, no nothing. He didn't get none of that.
Wow.
He just gave me G's and was like, yo, go finish the album. When you finish with it, call this number. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the start of it. It gets more critique than that, but I have to save that for another time. I mean,
of course.
Because once he met me, I went to Cali for a reason. I was wanted in New York. I was wanted in New Jersey, and I've been wanted for years. I was a street dude. You know what I mean? I was doing what the streets do.
Yeah.
And so.
Listening to some of your music, we definitely hear a lot of those stories about shootouts, being on the run, and quite a lot of different aspects around your life and your journey and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's not difficult to talk about, but when I do talk about it, because I did come from a real place, I have to actually plant myself there to remember the events and how they occurred and how they had turned out. And it draws a certain energy in and out of a person. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's just like I'm trying to explain it right now to say, we'll hold that for another time. I need a blunt. I need something to keep my brain from actually sinking in that place, because that place was a dark place. But Master P pulled me out of it, and it wasn't easy, and it was millions of dollars. So he met me, and in 8 days, he gave me $10,000, and 8 days later, it was $2 million.
Crazy.
Never heard of in this game. Never.
Crazy.
Never. This man was such a hard worker and a dedicated worker that he had that money. And had he not had that money, and this is true story, and this is documented, had he not been who he was, I wouldn't be alive today. Alive. You got to understand what I'm trying to tell you. I would be dead. Because when I went back to the East to finish the Little Soldiers
album,
which wasn't called Little Soldiers at the time, but when I went to go finish their album, finish writing their album and get with them and everything like that, I ended up in a standoff with the police for 8 hours.
Oh.
That's actually, it's a part of that is on the channel I just put you on to, where you heard the Lil Wayne thing.
Okay, and for the listeners listening, that's gonna be on the Locker Blockdown channel on YouTube. So and I'm gonna make sure that's up there so people can check that all out. So all right, sir.
Yeah, I got a little bit of the story on that, and it's called what is it called? I forgot. I can show it up. What does it call? But anyway, on that channel, the same joint where I showed you the Lil Wayne joint, it's a beginning of that of the standoff and the the bell and all of that type of shit. It's called Little Soldiers Reloaded.
Okay, yeah, I think I see. I see on the page. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, so it's like 100 ways for me to tell this story, and I've just been perplexed about how to tells such a
well, I mean, even as you tell that story, there's so many different dynamics to it. We go from the Little Soldiers aspect, we go to, you know, fast forward years later with, you know, P making announcements of yourself, and Slay Sean and a few other artists. I mean, actually, we'll rewind quickly before that, because our first kind of major introduction, I guess, to you on a solo tip was on the No Limit Soldiers compilation. It was a track called, Bring My Burners. Bring My Burners.
Holy shit. That got a story. Now,
yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
Check this out. This is the story to that. Okay, just say I go to Cali, like I told you, on a Wednesday, right?
Yep.
I meet Master P on that Wednesday on the plane. So, you know, everything happens with us. And so now I'm excited that I met Master P, you know, because this is a potential way into the game.
Of course.
And I've been trying for 9 years to get in the game at that point. So anyway, that night, you with me so far?
Yeah, I'm with you. That same night.
That same night, I hear that Taheem is in L.A. Taheem is Busta Rhymes. Okay. That's my man. That's one of my childhood friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I hear he's in town. So I go to where he's at, but they won't let me in. I go through the back. They won't let me in. And I'm like, yo, man, you know, go grab. I'm talking to the guy. I said, yo, that's my brother for real. Like, you know, not my blood. I'm being real honest with the guy. I'm in the back. I'm like, yo, it's not my blood brother, but we're brothers. Like, I fuck him up on Tekken all the time. Like, I whoop his ass. You know what I mean? So anyway, for some reason, the man said, man, you know, he kind of believed me, I guess. I said, yo, go get Spliff Star. So he went and go get Spliff Star. Now, Spliff coming out cussing. You know, he a Brooklyn motherfucker. He come out, what the fuck? Who was the fuck out here? He saw me, he said, oh shit, peace, God, what up? Blah, blah, blah. So he pulls me in the back. He pulls me and my man in the back. We go out there. Everybody's in the Black Eyed Peas is in Busta Rhymes' dressing rooms. Bus is in there. Me and Bus going crazy because we ain't seen each other in a couple months, you know. And he's wondering, what the fuck you doing in L.A.? You know what I mean? So I told him about Master P and this, that, and the third.
Okay, so, that must have been a surprise.
So that day, that night, inside the dressing room, Black Eyed Peas. I told Busta about the my sons getting signed by Master P, which they wasn't signed yet, but Master P had an ear for them. And so when I told him that, you know, he never signed me. You got to understand where I'm going with the story. Busta Rhymes knew me for all these years. He never signed me. He never tried to get me signed. And I am not looking at it as a bad thing, but he just never did. That's just wasn't no New York shit. Niggas wasn't pulling niggas in like that.
Right.
So we were in the dressing room. And I told him about you know, my sons and Master P and shit. And he was like, yo, well, I said, yeah, Master P said they the hottest artist he heard from the East. You know, I was being sarcastic because I was a little bitter that he never signed me. So I threw a little shot at him, a little gut shot. I love him, but I threw a shot at him anyway. Yeah. But not never signed. And so, he said, put it in. Put the tape in. I kept the tape with me from now. The tape don't leave my pocket. You know what I mean? So I put one of the tapes in. I put the tape in, and everybody's just talking. It's Rod Digger was in there, Baby Sham, Spliff Star, Busta Rhymes, KRS-One, the Black Eyed Peas sitting on the couch. So nobody was listening while I put this music in. So I took it out. Soon as I took it out, Busta was like, yo, why you take that shit out, God? I was like, I'm going to just wait till you finish talking. He was talking to a known weed seller from New York named Branson. If you ever know.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have his name in a whole bunch of stuff, so
I was talking to Branson at the time, who's from uptown.
Okay.
So I took the tape out, and he's like, yo, why you do that? And I was like, because I'll just wait till you finish talking to Branson, and then, you know, I'll play it for you. He was like, well, if it was hot like you said, then I would have heard. So I said, what? And so he asked the Black Eyed Peas, Will I Am. Will I Am was sitting on the couch, and he kind of threw his weight on Will I Am. He was like, yo, was that hot? And Will I Am was stuttering. He was like, well, I really couldn't understand it. You know, I don't know what's going on. And then he asked the other Oriental-looking brother.
I think Taboo or something. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know his name. I never knew their names because he fucked up. up. As soon as he opened his mouth, he fucked up. He don't understand. He don't know that East Coast shit. We battle rap. So as soon as he said something slick out of his mouth, I said, I battle any one of y'all right now, pointing to all three of the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay, yeah.
So Busta Rhymes got mad at me. He's like, yo, don't talk to my company like that. You want to battle me? And I said, I don't give a fuck. So that's when everybody gathered around, right in Busta's dressing room. Everybody gathered around, and Busta went first. So Busta went and shit, and you know he's talking crazy, talking some, you know how he rhymes. He was talking.
Of course, yeah.
My man, Wise Ruler, is standing beside me. I looks at him and I laugh like I'm about to kill this nigga. Like, all I do is battle. People don't understand. If you go to Rock a Block channel and listen to a song called Turn It Up, you'll understand where I'm coming from with this, you know, how I get down when it comes to these lyrics and all that. So anyway, I looks at my man, I laugh. I tore Busta up the first round. Blah, blah, blah. Shit it. Right? So it was something light, but it really wasn't light. I took his joint out. Whatever he did, I took it out. So now he puts down the Big Face 100. This is the first time I saw the Big Face 100. This was 98. That's when they came out. So you know this story is authentic.
Yep.
He put the Big Face 100 on the floor. He said, after this, you ain't going to want to spit no more. You ain't going to want to do nothing. So I hit the joint. I laughed again. Ripped him out. You little bastard. I put you in casket. You get your ass kicked. I was just back-to-back lyrics with him.
Yeah.
That's all I did with Bus. I just kept hitting him with back-to-back lyrics. And so he snatched his money, and it was time for him to go on the stage. So he goes on stage. I'm right with him and shit. Me, MOP, KRS-One, everybody was there. Ice-T, Wyclef, Lauren, everybody was there that night. That night. And this is the funny shit, is that the people, I kept saying, you know, I met Master P yesterday. I don't know the industry at this point, but everybody's trying to talk to me. I don't know why, but they taking pictures with me. They talking to me. I'm like, me and my man's is bugging out. And my man's is like, yo, you just got that magnetic, you know, you just draw people in. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So, Busta Rhymes gets on stage. We going crazy. Me and Foxy Brown is standing at the steps while he's on stage. We right there at the steps, me and Foxy Brown. This is when I realized she had ugly feet. I almost threw up. So, dead ass. She had on glass slippers. I'll never forget it. And it was just, the toes was no good.
Damn. How many time? Shit. Huh? How many time?
Yeah,
I'm thinking that movie Boomerang when
Oh yeah. She had the what they call it,
hammer time.
Yo, for real. Like if you ever look at any pictures, dead ass serious. So it kind of fucked me up because I'm really a toe man, seriously. And honestly, I'm not no pretty foot nigga myself, but I don't like to see a woman with toes.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, exactly. Come on, man.
And toes don't make a person, don't get me wrong, but for me, it meant something. So I was trying to enjoy Busta's show, and I'm looking at the toes at the same time. I was fucked up. So anyway, Busta comes off the stage for Public Enemy to get on, and I had New Chuck D as well. Chuck D and Flav got on there and went crazy. So when Busta was leaving, people were still taking pictures of me and shit. And so I was like, I kept calling him. I was like, yo, Buzz. He was just mingling in the back. I was like, yo, Buzz. And he wasn't. He was ignoring me or couldn't hear me, one. So then I said, yo, Taheem Allah. And he looked, and I walked up to him. I said, yo, God, what's the science? He said, yo, God, you tried to fight me and shit. I said, huh? I was perplexed. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He's like, yeah, you tried to fight me and shit like that in front of my company and shit. I said, yo, God, that's just how I rhyme. This is why Master P ended up calling me Short Circuit.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because I snap lyrically, and it's not to hurt anyone. It's just how the rhymes come out when I
how you deliver. Well, I remember P saying on I think it was one of on the outro actually, and I think it could have been the Game Face album, which I ain't gonna talk too much about. But actually, I may ask you a bit about that because that was like the universal side of No Limit. So but I remember he didn't shouted you out, and it was one of the deepest songs on the album, and he was like, short circuit. If you don't blow no fuse, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. So that kind of gave the impression that P, he had a lot of love and respect for you, and even had plans and stuff that he wanted to do. I guess at that Universal stage with No Limit East. What sort of happened with that? Why didn't the fans get to receive that No Limit East album that they were waiting for?
No Limit East, what happened? I started No Limit East, and then he signed Slay Sean an official.
And okay,
okay now.
Now, if I remember, official from Philly.
Slay Sean is from Far Rockaway, Queens.
Okay, all right.
From Far Rock. So what happened with that was Slay Sean ended up having a lot to do with Romeo's first project.
There was a fallout.
Don't get me off the subject on how that song you brought up, Bring My Burners. I was telling you the story about Bring My Burners, and it had a lot to do with Busta. But anyway, I'll go back to that after this.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to it.
So Master P signed Slay Sean and official for the No Limit East thing, and I'm the capo of that. You know what I mean? So Slay Sean started doing things for the Romeo project, and then he turned around and tried to sue Master P for things about the Romeo project. You gotta understand something. This was just greedy people.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Master P made me brother these men. He made me brother Slay Sean, official, and this one and that one. We ain't play at the tank, man. I don't know if you ever heard. It wasn't no games at the tank, man.
Yeah.
Everybody on the tank got a $40,000 Rolex on their arm, $80,000 with insurance. Everybody on No Limit got a bank account. Everybody on No Limit got a car and a house. That's what you get when you sign with No Limit.
Yep.
You understand? So Slay Sean, who had no voice before Master P, and I didn't either, he decides to sue Master P. And when he did that, it's like a sue, Beast by the Pound was going through some shit legally with Master P at the same time. So Master P was looking around like, what the fuck? Everybody's attacking me, and he's really trying to help people.
Of course, he could.
Yeah, he was trying to really help people and get them out the projects and out the streets and out of killing and murdering and drug selling.
Of course.
He was really.
I mean, it's crazy. Sometimes people on the outside, you can see it sometimes, because I feel as though a lot of the No Limit fans, and not all of them, but there's a lot that definitely saw that from the outside, and they felt as though if they didn't got the opportunity, they wouldn't have did the same thing. But as we know, sometimes jealousy, greed, or whatever it is, different things can get in the way with people.
Man, this brother saved my life, for real. He talked a gun out of my hand with over 100 police outside of my doorstep, man.
Praise is due to a lot, yeah.
Hip-hop. This is true story shit, you know what I mean? This man put up millions and millions of dollars from knowing me for 8 days, man. And only met me twice. But it was the 8th day that I met him that, I was worth millions after that. From 8 days later. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This wasn't somebody you backstab or sue or something like that. I would never sue Master P. There's nothing on the planet Earth that can get me to sue Master P. There's nothing on this planet Earth that can get me to probably say a bad word about him. You know what I mean?
That's real.
It's just happening. Like I said, again, me and Master P started from a code, and it was a code that was in the eyes. It wasn't in the words, well, kind of in the words, but it was more eye contact of me and a man seeing another man and say, okay, yeah, that's a man.
Yep.
So it's no way I could turn around and bite the hand that feeds me. You don't do that. You fucking eat your own hand before you do that. You don't never do that, because at the end of the day, if you're on your deathbed, you fuck around and have to apologize for some shit like that, and that'll be the worst.
Yep. Well, they even tell you in, it's like they say even in the old Shaolin code, never outshine the master. And a lot of people, they don't really understand these concepts. And but actually, yeah. Well, I'm gonna use that on a note to get back to the Bring My Burners, because we're sort of touching on that. It all ties in, because I was gonna ask, just being with No Limit, did you think that maybe other artists in different camps were a bit jealous and maybe No Limit's notoriety or stature, or you even being involved? Is it, being the East Coast heavyweight coming in and because like you said, at the time, even for what you would have achieved and what you would have gotten from the situation with No Limit, there'd have been plenty of rappers that would have been in the game trying to do this, trying to do that, and and you would have been out there not like balling at them, but you you would have
Right.
without and from the outside, without them understanding maybe your story or your struggle, they probably thinking you'd have got it easy, or how did you get to that spot?
Right, and like, okay, so we're back at the Bring My Burners. Like I said, this was the same day that I met P, and we're at the show, and everything that I said happened. And at the end of Busta Rhymes' show, I kept calling him, and he didn't respond. Then I said his 5%er name, which is Taheem Allah.
Okay.
So when I did that, he paused, and I walked up to him, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Yo, you tried to fight me. I'm offended. It was, company around, and this, that, and the third." And I tried to explain to him that that's just how I rhyme. But from the way he was acting, I didn't want to go back to his dressing room. So I just stayed and mingled amongst the crowd and shit like that. And this is when I started taking pictures with every fucking body. And Janet Jackson's manager came up to me, and he wanted me, he wanted me to have his number, and this was going on, because this is what I didn't know that happened. To make a long story short, Master P was worth hundreds of millions, more than all these people that was in there. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't have no idea that. So these people wanted to be connected to the money. This is why they was talking and taking pictures with me. I didn't know that. Anyway, I leave there. I think I did go say peace to Busta Rhymes and shit and Spliff before I left. Those my brothers, I do love them. So I did say peace, and I just peeled out. But I was mad as fuck. I was tight that I had to battle him for one. I was uptight that he never signed me, or helped to sign me, or looked out. I was tight about all this shit was just coming down on me. So long story short, when Master P's, after all the standoff with the police and everything, when he signed me, he's like, okay, we're going to sign you. So when he signed me, my first joint was Bring My Burners. Now, if you remember Busta Rhymes, one of his things he's famous for is that,
Of course. Yep.
So what I did, my first line was all that rah, damn sonny, you
funny. I'm doing for the money. I'm still hungry.
Right. So that was to him. Okay. So I battled him on that first joint.
Crazy.
On the first joint. So everybody was thrown, because that's the first time on No Limit when they had a song with no hook. It was just straight rhymes.
Yeah, you're right. I remember it was, I think it was the last song on the compilation, was just bars all the way through.
Right. And so they was blown away like, yo, this dude ain't even stopped. He just kept going. So I don't know how long it is, but at the time, for a verse, it was long to people. They was like, God damn, he's still going.
Yeah, because I think those people weren't really pushing it past the 16 bar point quite then, not on records anyway.
Mm-hmm. At that time, it was either 4, 8, or 16.
Yep.
I went 96 or something like that. I went, I did crazy bars.
Of course. I mean, rappers like The Game got a lot of credit for it years later with 96 bars and all that. Right. But, real spitters done been doing that from back in the game.
Right. So I did that. And Master P, he knew what I was doing. I told him, I tell, cause we real, I tell him everything, you know what I mean? So I told him what was going down. He let it rock. But after that song, like most of every song was back at Busta again until he got tired of it. He's like, all right, that's enough, freak. That's enough. And so what he did to get me to stop battling Busta Rhymes is he actually called Busta Rhymes down to No Limit. And when he called him down to No Limit, I love P, man. When he called him down to No Limit, he brought him into the office before he was set to do a song with Mystical. Remember, they had the same kind of energy in those days.
I remember.
He called Mystical in the room. I mean, he called Busta Rhymes in the room, and he had the Little Soldiers Close to You video playing. He said, yo, you know the Young Gods? He's speaking like the East Coast. He's like, yo, the Young Gods? Yeah. He's like, oh, shit. He's like, yeah, that's my brother's kids, blah, blah, blah. And so that's how it stopped.
It kind of, yeah.
That's what put it. Master P stopped it.
That's crazy.
Because he already knew I was dead serious about everything I was saying. And then every song was dedicated to fucking Busta up for whatever happened in L.A.
Yeah.
And so that's what Bring My Burners come from. I'm battling Busta Rhymes.
That is crazy. On that note, just on a quick note before we move from that one, because we're going to get onto another diss record, but okay. Did you ever get any word back from Busta to say that he didn't heard that or that he
Yeah, he heard it. It split us up. He heard it. But like I said, Busta was the type, but he's so confident of an artist. He's so confident of an artist, he doesn't know when he loses. Like I said, I did the first battle with him inside of his dressing room. We had 3 joints each. He hit 3 joints. I hit 3 joints. He didn't win none of the joints. KRS-One was right there. I got the picture. If you look at the picture, my eyes is bloodshot red from short circuiting on Bus. Bus thought he was the energy guard until he met me, lyrically.
Yeah, I hear you.
You understand what? And so when it came to this right here, when he heard this, I'm like a lump on your spine, doesn't get flesh when I lead a crime. I'm like a lump under your spine, under your flesh when I lead. When he heard that, it was a rap. He already know. So he knew that battle was.
He said you want to battle like I got too many rides. I think you.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. I'm glad you know that shit. But y'all was stupid on there.
Yep.
And it was, to me, it was light work.
I'm
being nice.
No, I hear you. I mean, you see what it is. Being as a rapper myself, and I want to say this the best possible way because that's one of those songs where I can listen to it and kind of rap it word for word, and I mean this with the utmost respect. I know what you mean when you say you went light because it's easy to go over it, but when you really go with it word for word, bar for bar, that shit hard as nails. So I know what you mean. You kept it light, but it's still fucking hard as hell.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. But so when I saw him in Atlanta. Him and Nelly. I saw him and Nelly in Atlanta. He said, "You still mad at me? You still trying to kill me and all this?" I said, "Nah, man, I love you, this, that, and the third." We was in Atlanta at a club, and him and Nelly was together. He said, "Man, yo, come take a drink with me and Nelly and this, that, and the third." So I hung out with him and Nelly that night, and you know, it pretty much was the beef was pretty much over.
Okay.
You know, the beef was pretty much over and shit at that point. And, you know, he let me know he heard the joint. And, you know, he felt like, you know, yeah, God, you trying to kill me and this, that, and the third, but I love the joint. You know, the under your flesh. He hit that part. When he hit that part.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah, when he hit that, I said, "Holy shit! Like you play this, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
I was trying to question him because although I was upset with him, I still love him. So it was like it's like fighting your little brother, and he's way bigger than me. But it's like fighting your little brother. Like, yo, did you get the lesson, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to question him like you and me are talking right now. I wanted to question him in depth to like what got you, like this, that, you know, what happened?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I never got to do it. I've seen him maybe once after that. You know what I'm saying? Me and Spliff and all that, and Scratch actually, Busta Rhymes DJ, was the only one who could beat me in Tekken. I used to kill Bust. Me and Bust used to play. When he go on tour, he'd call me wherever he at. Yo, come over here and get your ass whooped. So I end up on a plane, a train, or a car, and go to whatever hotel, and we and him would be playing until he got to perform. This is just how we used to do it for years.
And Tekken crazy.
You know what I mean?
You remember?
What's funny? The funny shit is before I met Master P, long before, a year before I met Master P, Busta Rhymes called me a Sunday morning. And when he called me a Sunday morning, I'll never forget it. It was a Sunday morning. It was maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was in the bed with my wife, and he called me. He said, "Peace, God." I said, "Peace." I said, "Yo, what's going on?" And he was like, "Yo, they just shot Biggie." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yo, they just shot Biggie." I said, what you mean? He said, "I'm in LA right now. They just shot Big and shit. Yo, turn on the radio and find out what they saying. Find out what they saying about me." And I was like, "All right, God, I got you." He said, "Yo, I'll hit you back later on or whatever." Now, Busta and I had a mutual friend. His name is Fendi. Fendi is the guy who discovered Nicki Minaj.
Okay, yeah.
He the guy that you ever saw the Notorious movie?
I didn't have his name and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Fendi is the guy who discovered the guy who played Biggie as well.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Gravy.
So anyway, yeah, Gravy, right? So, I wake up. I'm up now. I wake up my wife. I'm like, "Yo, they just shot Biggie in L.A." She's like, "What?" And so I turns on the radio like Bus told me to do, and shit. Now I wasn't hearing nothing, so I start calling all the young guards like, "Yo, Busta just called me." Everybody know I hung with Bus, so I was calling all the guards and shit. I was like, "Yo, Busta just told me Biggie got shot." Da 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 da. I'm spreading the word. You know what I mean? Sure enough. Later on that morning, maybe like 7 o'clock, they start talking about it. But they didn't say nothing about about Busta. They didn't say nothing about him. And so it struck me years later that he would call and tell me Biggie got shot, but he wants to know about his name. That's in my book. That was strange to me that he did that. That's a true story. He really asked me, "Yo, see what they saying about me." That's what he said.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes said that to me. He said, "Yo, see what they saying about, me in the shooting." He was right there with Biggie. But they didn't mention him like in the main story. In the detailed story, he was mentioned, but in the main story, he wasn't. And years later, that just struck me as odd of him calling
and saying that at that point. Yeah.
That's just, I don't think he had nothing to do with it or anything like that. I think it's just Biggie was a big boy at the time, like he was that dude. And for Busta could get you 1 or 2 or 3 hits. Biggie every song is gonna be a hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he was looking for a stardom, some type of coming like Busta Rhymes was with Biggie type shit to keep him famous or something.
That gonna have
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Not to discredit Busta Rhymes, who's very talented, very compassionate about music, and his art to do it, and his performance is second to none. The only person that can outdo Busta and Spliff is, to me, Chuck D and Flavor Flav. That's the only people that I've seen kill a stage like them, better than them.
What? Okay.
You got Flavor Flav jumping from a 50-feet speaker onto the floor. That's what I'm trying to tell people. With his legs moving to control the fucking air. For he's jumping from a big ass speaker onto the stage, onto his feet, no fear nor nothing.
Crazy.
This is the only reason why he's a bigger hype man than Spliff Star. That's the only reason. But yeah, that bugged me out about Taheem.
Busta. Well, I mean, so touch on that. That was to bring my burners in, and a lot of the fans have noticed you from another. We don't want to keep it just on the beef songs, but we're gonna mention another one, which gonna be the Click Click, which was a Cash Money disc. You know, released on the Wild Boys album. I think we got R.I.P. Sporty T and a bunch of the New Orleans soldiers who put that together.
Everybody was on there.
Yep, crazy Reginelli and them, the little soldiers.
Yeah, it was.
Not little soldiers. I mean Gambino. My bad. Prime Suspects or some of these.
Everybody was there. Everybody was on there. But I had the single, and Sporty T had the single. This is what I'm trying to explain.
How did all that come about? Yeah, because I think they had you under there under New Getty or something. New Getty. Yeah, that was it.
They knew. Everybody knew Master P had signed a New York artist, and to keep my name Freedom, because it wasn't short circuit yet, to keep that out the loop of the beef, because Master P wasn't about beefing in hip hop, but he had to show them like, listen, I'll put a whole album out on you motherfuckers. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so what happened with that was one day I flew to Sacramento. Master P had like a fucking farm out there, some shit. I flew somewhere in Cali to meet P, and everybody was there. And every mansion he got a studio in there. So we goes in the studio, and everybody's there. This is regular tank shit. So Master P said, "Free, I don't want them bitches comfortable in New York." I said, "What bitches?" He said, this Baby motherfucker. Baby and the Cash Money niggas. So what had happened, Baby started duplicating everything P did. And P was alright. P took it as P is this guy's different, man. He's just a different type of man. He's just special, man. And this is why he named himself a special name, like Master.
Facts.
Because it's different, man. And I mean that with all due respect. He's just a different kind of dude. Because at first he allowed all this duplication. He took it as a flatter, like, all right, cool, not a problem. Let's all eat. But when he started going into, doing everything that Master P did, and then it wasn't showing the respect, Master P ended up slapping this man in Houston. Nobody even heard this story before. They heard about him doing something to what's his name?
Pimp C, rest in peace. But yeah,
I was there that night.
Oh anyway, shit! Okay.
Yeah. P kept me close, man. He kept me real close. So,
cause you're a real one, so that's what it is. But
look on all the award shows and shit, I'm right there. You don't see really nobody else. And it wasn't to discredit them. It was that P knew I was trying to learn from him, number one. Number two, I respected him because I was one of the people in the tank, he saved my life for real. Like, he talked a gun out of my hand. Can you understand what I'm saying? A gun was in my hand for 8 hours. He talked it out my hands. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That's special, as you said. Y'all were destined to meet. There ain't no other way but that.
So we had our connection, and so, he told me everything, and like I said, he ended up getting upset with Birdman because he was not paying the proper homage that you should pay to a man, just out of being a real man. And so Master P called him in the airport, and he slapped a bitch.
Crazy.
And slapped him. You know what I mean? He could have did anything else to him. But this is what people don't understand about people. People need to be cautious on how they treat each other. Master P is gentleman, man. A gentleman. This man had me jumping out of helicopters for doing toys for tots for kids. You understand what I'm saying? This man see people and he do things that you don't hear about. That's what Master P was doing. He was doing shit, but I would happen to be right there like the spook that sat by the door, watching this man do all these things with the riches that he got. and it was love things. It was paying for this person's apartment, paying for this one's school, paying for this one's doctor bills. He was doing shit like that was right next to him. So when you offend a person like that, you're not playing with a full deck of cards now. Now you about to see the other side of him, the street side of him. So when he saw Bird in the airport, he ran up on him. He said a few words. Bird responded. When he responded, he got slapped because he knows another lion, and to him, that wasn't a lion. I'm not saying that Birdman is not a lion. I'm saying Master P didn't recognize him as a lion, so he slapped him. He didn't punch him. He didn't kick him. He didn't do none of that. He slapped him. You know how disrespectful? That's like in Iraq when you say something stupid, they throw a shoe at you. Like, that's the most disrespectful shit they can think of, to throw a shoe at you. You know, I think they did it to President Bush or something like that.
Yeah, I remember one of the reporters, yeah.
So Master P slapped him and everything. But you know, I guess after that, he told me, listen, Free, he said, I don't want bitches comfortable in New York. And I got it, Colonel, because I'm a soldier. He run this thing like a real army. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a soldier. Whatever he tells me to do, I'm doing. You gotta understand that. Like, if P would have told me to do some outlandish shit in them years, it would have been done with no question. Today I might say, Colonel, you sure?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might take that. But he said, yeah, I'm sure I'll do whatever. Still to this day, I think it's 20 years later, 20-something years later. But this is how loyalty work with men. But he told me that, he said, I don't want them comfortable in New York. You know what I'm saying? So I left. And somehow I end up driving back. So I think we rented a car. I had my mans with me. I don't know, I had to go too many places. So we left Cali, and I had to go to so many places that I didn't want to do the plane. So I rented a car for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, and me and my man, C-Rule, we drove out. And we drove out. About time I got to New York, I had 2 notebooks full of rhymes, full of songs against Cash Money. And the song I picked was called Click Click. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That was the song.
And who was the other? You had a different artist on there with you as well, right? Who was that artist?
That was my female cousin.
Okay.
Her name was XO, Samantha Jackson. And so I put her on because, I'm trying to get artists and people that I know that spit. I'm trying to get them signed.
Of course.
And so
yeah, it was good. It was like you was we knew it was like you could tell it was an introduction to like a new artist that was maybe on your sort of wing of the tank as well. So it came off dope. Yeah, no, from an outside standpoint, everybody was familiar that it was you on the song, but we just thought it was like an East Coast artist that you had under you that you was introducing as well.
Oh yeah, that was my cousin Samantha, man. She went crazy on them niggas.
Yep.
Little Wayne wrong game. Hop turnstiles, my click still wild.
Yep.
Hit your face, New York.
Style, New Year to the streets.
Oh my God. Your face like a break beat. Fuck BG. Yep. I'm Merc Juvenile. Little Wayne still a child. Stay in your place.
Why empty in your face.
My God. That shit was crazy. This is funny.
I mean, was this before they started doing all that shit with Because I remember one point they started doing stuff. I guess it could have been either with Puffin them or Rough Riders in the East Coast. I think Cash Money they kind of linked in and did something out there, but I'm not sure if you would have put that heat on them before that.
No. Yeah, this was after that.
Okay.
This was after that. See, you understand, man. I'm from the East. We don't give a fuck. When it's time to battle, we battle.
Of course.
So it didn't matter who they was.
I know.
They had Jay-Z. They was fucking with Jay at the time.
Yep.
They was fucking with this one. They did all this. This story is so detailed and so crazy because after I did that, at the time I did that, they wasn't spitting no rhymes. They was just rapping. It was, put it on down and drop it to the floor and all this type of woody wobble wobble, all this type of shit. It wasn't no lyrics. Wasn't no lyrics at all. So I just manhandled them niggas. If you listen to the song,
of course, yeah.
I just lyrically manhandled them. And I told them at the end of the joint, I said, none of y'all niggas can't rhyme. And this is weird because it was for music. At the same time, I still was, a real nigga from the street, but it was for music. But I really wanted them to update rhymes. I really wanted that. I really wanted them to get better with rhyming.
Of course.
It was rapping and rhyming at the end of the day. So what happened was Lil Wayne, they end up signing Gilly the Kid from Philly, who's a well-respected Philly dude from a group called
I remember Major Figures and that. Yeah, I remember Gilly.
They end up signing Gilly to help Wayne learn how to rhyme. So he was writing Wayne's rhymes.
Before Wayne blew up after. Yeah.
I would have killed Gilly. I would have killed any rapper in these years. Any rapper, I would have killed them. Anybody. And nobody that was rhyming at that time could fuck with me. Nobody. I had too many rhymes for one. For two, my life was too real and I could put it, I could get it out. I can get my actual life out. And because of that, it's some people that could rap way better than me, probably, you know what I'm saying? But they couldn't rhyme better than me. They couldn't put their life into real shit better than me. There's no way they could do that because my life was a little different than most rappers. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Hence, an 8-hour standoff with the police, you know what I mean, later on in life, you know what I mean? So, it was, my life was different, and so in my brain, nobody could touch me. There was only person I think I was worried about at that time was Biggie or Tupac.
No, yeah.
Nobody else could.
Well,
Tupac was...
We got the, I was gonna say, as you mentioned Tupac, cause, we got the joint. You actually did a remix on the Tupac joint, This Ain't Living, which one of my favorites.
Oh my God. I had to keep it real with people. See, this is the difference between the real and the fake. When I did that song with Tupac had passed away already. And so when I dropped it, when I finally dropped it, because it took me years to drop it, because I just didn't know about the internet, and I didn't want to do this, and I had to check with Miss Affini, and this, that, and the third. When I finally dropped it, people was like, yo, you sound better than Pac, and this, that, and third. I was like, listen, I did that. I wrote that verse to Pac's verse. Like, I heard Pac, listen to him, and wrote my joint. So don't think that man was right there and I just out-flavored him or some crazy shit. I wrote my rhyme years later.
Off the back of that,
so
yeah.
Anything, you understand what I'm saying?
Yep. But I like the fact that you was able to just even tie the times together and still put in your own the stuff that's real to you. One of my favorite lyrics you put in the you handcuffing motherfuckers you grew with. You know what I mean? We got a son, you go hit it with 10 years. And you go, Cirque on you, Prince, Bomb, and Kyrie. I know you motherfuckers on the streets at AP. You laying it down for Asbury Park. You laying it down for, just brothers who can really understand reality, worldwide. And you dropping real game and messages in the same kind of vein that, Tupac fans will be accustomed to as well. So that's what makes it so dope.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you even knowing. See, this is the thing.
Man, God, I pay attention to. Yeah, man, I pay attention to the God, man, because at the end of the day, it's like you said, even that nobody can't do what you did, even in terms of putting your experiences and your story and your message out there into the music. So the value that's even in that, when I listen, I'm one of the brothers, man. I listen, I resonate with everything. You know what I mean? Because who we got a saying in Jamaica to say, who feels it knows it, man. So, it's like, that's how it is, man.
Let me say something to you. First of all, stop making me blush, money. Cut it out. Stop it. Stop killing me over here. All right. But as far as I'm concerned with you, man, listen, man, you gotta, sometimes you yourself, I don't know if you have bad days. I'm pretty sure you do. We all do. But when you do, I need you to look in that fucking mirror and say, listen, man, I'm not like these dudes, man. Like Nipsey Hussle said, I ain't like you rap niggas. You're different, man. You are truly different.
I appreciate
it. That you know, you are different. You don't ever have to sideswipe yourself when it comes to whatever you're doing, music, promoting, or a podcast, or this or that. I need you to know. I need you to know you're different, and I respect you as a man, as an artist, as a young God, as a black man, as a man from the UK representing. I respect you, man, because you're not playing. You're one of us.
I appreciate it.
You're one of the real ones. You're not playing this is not a game.
Nah,
and this is the problem. A lot of people think this is a damn game, and it's not.
Amen.
It's not a game. We serious about what comes out your mouth. We dead serious about that. We want to know who are you? What the hell is you talking about? And is it real? And this, that, and third.
Exactly.
You picked up on that for a reason, man.
Yep.
You picked up on that for a reason, man. And I want to take my hat off to you and say, listen, man, whatever you doing, it's gonna be all right. Do not lose focus, man. Don't lose focus for nobody, for no means, for no nothing, because you're here for a purpose. If you can hear me pissing on cotton like I did in this game, I pissed on cotton and you heard it.
Of course, yep. And I feel as though I done heard that.
That makes you a giant with superhero powers, man, to hear something like that, because I'm the person people try to hide, man. They want to hide that I even exist, man.
I can tell.
Because there's no competition for me. And I mean, it's nothing you can do with me. You got a man that taught his children to do what they did at the ages of 6 and 7 years old. It was unheard of in hip hop.
Of course.
And that's serious. The Little Soldiers got a song with pardon me. I just all over the place. With Steady Mobbing.
Oh, Lil Nigga's one of my favorites. If it's that, I mean, even I still try and play that to people now and tell them, listen to what these look, because I was with some of the young homies from the UK, and I'm playing them the new Okibama, and I'm making them hear that, and I'm saying, listen to this was the God when he was younger, and I'm going back and I'm playing and I'm saying, y'all don't understand about where this, but it's like people don't understand shit no more. They so disconnected and
No, that's crazy. Yo, they don't know what they missing.
Yep.
This my sons. Let me tell you why my sons did that. Because mind you, on the whole Little Soldier album, they don't curse, they don't play games like that, but they said little nigga. And they knew that they was adults would hear it, but they did it because of the pain that was going on in the streets of Oakland,
Amen.
in the Bay Area,
yep.
New York, and Jersey. They know. He said, my name free. It ain't no limit to me. Freedom. There's no limit. Freedom. He said, there's no limit to me. The violence on TV, hurting the seeds, the babies. See the guns in their hand, yellow tapes by the school, capsules floating in the puddle, bringing drugs to the youth. I'm the one they chose to tell it to you, 7 years old. My brother 9, both of us trying to grow till we old. That means stop. The stray bullets was killing the babies on these streets at the time.
Yep.
Live away from the danger. See the young on the news, beaten down in a bruise. Mama, what I'ma do? Every night when I lay my head down to rest, I hear the firings and sirens making a mess. Every cat in the neighborhood. Tell me this was before people were saying what's good. And my son said, every cat in the neighborhood, tell me what's good. Never stopping their wars, but if I could, I would. A little nigga.
A little nigga.
Yo, what the fuck is people missing, man?
Exactly, and I'll be, that's it, man. It make me wonder, and I'm thankful for what you said, because from the day I've been born, I didn't always, not to blow my own trumpet or nothing, but I didn't always known I've been special and got some kind of special mission, and I've always been, in tune to be able to receive this, especially when it comes to our culture and our people, and that's an
understatement for you.
Yeah, I'm very humble.
Yo, that's an understatement. Listen, man, listen. I know we're on an interview and things of that nature, but listen, man, my home is your home.
I'm coming. I'm
good.
I'm coming out, man. I'm coming out.
You ain't got to feed yourself. The refrigerator stay full. I got a theater in the crib. You can watch whatever you want, do whatever you want. I got a loft in that bitch. Yo, son, get your money and pull up. You don't need much money, because get your plane ticket. I got you when you get here.
All right.
Get your plane, bro. Because I love you as a brother because you're not playing. And this is all I want from the black man. You black man ain't no game.
Of course, and it's the same. And you know, one of the things is I ain't really had nobody, you know, really to raise me up or lift me up. I've done this with my back against the wall. Everybody trying to break me down and all, and you know, so.
Black man shit. Yeah.
Black man. That's why this the diary of the time, black man.
Let me tell you something. In order to make a diamond do what it do for the people of today, how they perceive a diamond to be special, you know the pressure.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
The pressure.
Yep.
It's crazy pressure. You couldn't imagine to make a diamond appear to be what the people want. Because when you see it, it looks like a regular, like a little white, dusty, beige stone. Ugly. But when they put the pressure on it, it shows its true beauty. So the pressure's been put on you. And the knowledge that you have is the diamond, you know, for what the people need. But they hard-headed, man. They always been.
Oh, yeah.
They always been, man. But you not one of them. And I'm sitting over here today, Saturday, April 27th, 2019, the day my son's album dropped in my world change in 1999 on this date, April 27th. I'm sitting on here with this brother, and I wish you the best, man. And I'm not done with the interview. I just can't. I want to give you your flowers. You understand?
Yeah,
I want to give you your flowers and let you smell them shits and be like, oh shit, yo, God, this shit smell good. This is real facts. This is. I don't say what I don't have to say to people.
I can tell. Yeah.
If you listen to the rhymes I write, you know, it sounded like I did a lot of work. Them shits came out fast, you know, because I only want to say what need to be said. So I'm only telling you this, man. For them ugly days that pop up on your ass, listen, man. Listen, man. Dip your head, pick that motherfucker right back up and keep it moving. Keep doing what you're doing. You're not like these other ones, man. They don't get it yet.
I appreciate that, man.
You're gonna be the one possibly to spark their mind, like a Tupac did to the game, like a Nipsey Hussle did to the game. You're probably gonna spark them, but it may take a minute. But I just don't want you to give up.
I'm glad you said this to me because everything you just said so real to even my journey. And I remember even when I met P and I said to him, because you know I didn't grow up so inspired by even, you know, yourself, everything that, you know, y'all did, and even the stuff that I didn't know because it's so relevant. And you know, P, you always see him in the interviews and he always say somebody gonna come after me and they gonna do it, they gonna do this, and I met him. I said, you know, I'm the guy that you talk about. I don't think he realized what I meant though. He probably thought I'm crazy as hell.
I hear that shit.
So but similar to what you said, you know, there has been, you know, you get your knockdowns, you get you know, things that pop up and stuff like that. So I do need those kind of reminders to just keep that focus and stay on the right path, man.
Yo, I only say what needs to be said. I'm saying this to you because that's what needs to be said to you. This ain't no, I'm on the phone with this young brother, let me da-da-da. No. I don't do those. Because I don't say what I don't have to say. That's unreal to me. And I got to face that one day in my life. And I refuse to face some shit that I did that's unreal. There's no leaks. I don't have no leaks in me. When I tell you about Busta Rhymes, you can say the same story to him. He's going to be like, yeah, I remember all of that.
That's how it was. Yep.
Anything, you know, because I refuse to not be real in a real material world. I refuse to be. I refuse to be one of the people that keep praying, so to speak, to a mystery and seeing rain drop on my fucking eyes, but think that the person that causing this rain is not a material. I refuse to do that. I'm just not that kind of person. Reality is key, man. There's certain things as humans that we won't do. So if there's certain things that a human won't do, you think Almighty God would do too? Like would let kids die, kids get raped, people die going to work, people die going to church.
Yep.
That's not reality. The man and woman and child on this planet Earth is the cause of these situations, man.
Facts.
And we got to come together. The separation is what's causing all this fucking negative bullshit to happen.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Hell is no higher than your heaven is no higher than your head, and hell is no lower than your feet. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it, man. No matter how bad we want to think about it. You know what bugs me out in America, man? These people worship the same God that was passed to them. Not even passed because, it wasn't, we only could know the part where we be servants, good servants. It was passed to you by the people that enslaved you.
Yep.
The people that looked at your body and was like, damn, that's a magnificent body. But when they told you, what they said to you was, you're dirty. They looked at you like you was magnificent, but when they opened their mouth, they say, oh, you're dirty, don't worry about it, you're a nigger, don't worry about it, you're dirty. So now you're just thinking, damn, I'm ugly, dirty, and big lips, and big nose, and black, and you're thinking that. But these motherfuckers was going that same night, creeping out of their big house to go and grab one of them dirty black women and raping them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's real. I was gonna say, do you think that's partly why we saw like a lot of the music not being taken from the East Coast, but it's and I've spent a lot of time in the East and even in the streets where a lot of people they learned from how the industry sort of messed over the older generation, but they sort of like tried to water down the East Coast music. Do you think that's because a lot of the knowledge of South was coming from the East, especially within the music in the early times?
Oh yeah, because the knowledge was that's where it was at. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I used to leave out of New York or Jersey, and I tell people when I come back, listen, man, them motherfuckers in Florida is crazy. But when I got to Florida, they thought I was crazy, but they was doing some wicked shit. I'm like, we don't really do it like that up north. But they swore I was crazy. But these motherfuckers was just naturally just bugged the fuck out, like bugged out. I don't want to get into it really over our interview, but
of course,
violently it was worse than we was in New York. It was vicious. I'm talking overkill. For instance, I saw a man kill a man before, and when he shot him, it wasn't my man who shot him. I'm just talking about one story.
Yeah,
when he shot this man, the man died maybe after the third shot. He ended up shooting this man a good 30 times. Overkill.
After the fact. Oh, wow.
And he was talking to him while he was killing him. Yo, bitch, yo, fucker, yeah, how you like this? He was dead already. I actually... in Florida, I'm not trying to just down Florida, but I actually stepped over bodies in Florida. This is when I was living the street life or whatever. I actually had to step over bodies to going into an apartment at one time. I'll never forget that. The man was dead, and I went to somebody's neighborhood. I was on the run from New York, and I was down south with a brother from Jersey, which is where I'm from as well. So I was with this man, and he took me into the hoods of Jacksonville, Florida. And when we went into the hood, we went through this little cut. And when we went through the cut, there was a man just laying, coming out the cut. He was just laying down like he was trying to run into the cut. And he was just laying down on the ground. And I was like, what's up with this dude? He's like, oh, he's dead, man. You know what I mean? Look at this shot. And I said, oh, shit, I seen the shot in his head. I said, oh, shit. And he was like, man, just come on. So he stepped over him, so I stepped over him. Then we went up these steps and went into the apartment. This is the mind state of black people in certain cities in America, man.
Yeah.
And when you said about the East we had a little knowledge. Even though people look at New York and they look at Newark and parts of Jersey and they be like, yo, them niggas is crazy. It was something about that situation that caused it to be like that. Even though it was senseless, it was something about it. This one might have smacked this man's mother, or this, that, and the third. In Florida, all they did was something stupid or something. It just, the ignorance level was...
It was like a violence for the sake of violence sake, sort of.
It was different. It was just different. And it was like that in Baltimore. It was like that in D.C. It was like that in L.A. It was like that in Texas.
Wow.
It was like
New Orleans.
Alabama, Mississippi. It was like that in Chicago. It was like that in Detroit. I lived in all these spots. I came out of each city unscathed, though. You know, I got my own tough skin as well. I'm not trying to be on here pointing fingers at everybody. I get as vicious as what I'm around. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But I never liked that. I never liked violence. I never liked it. That's why when I learned to rhyme, I put all that power into it, because the people have demons, and I'm not exempt from that. Those demons, what I call demons, they came out in them lyrics, and they came out hard, and nobody could fuck with it.
Yep.
Like I said, Busta Rhymes, who knew me, thought I was trying to fight him when I was just rhyming. He really truly thought, like, yo, you tried to fight me, like, damn. But he never had to battle me to know that was just me rhyming. That's all it was. That's it. There was no way, unless he would have said something like, he said something that would have been aggressive, that would have made me say, okay, what's up? You want to fight? You know, that's the only way something could have happened violently, had he done something like that. But other than that, I was just rhyming. That was all it was. But yeah, man, the knowledge in the East was different. We learned, it's a lot of Muslims around. It's a lot of 5%ers around.
Yep.
You know, the gangs wasn't really like that. You know, we had a few gangs and stuff like that, but it wasn't really like it was in other places. D.C., they really didn't have no gangs. They had drug cliques. And those drug cliques in D.C., I saw a man beat a woman with a 2x4 for a $5 food stamp. I don't know if y'all had them over there.
No,
but in these days, mid-'80s, we had food stamps over here that was like paper money.
Yeah.
And this lady went to one of the biggest drug dealers on the block, and she had a $5 food stamp. And this motherfucker, he had the I feel bad about this story because I didn't fuck him up. But he had a 2x4 in his hand, and he was just collecting his money or whatever, and she came up to him. All I did was see her come up to him with the $5 food stamp. I don't know the details of the conversation, but I was close enough to see what happened. Yo, he beat this woman to death with a 2x4.
Wow.
You understand? Over that $5 food stamp, and I believe it was purple, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just the violence and the ignorance that I've been around and that I've seen, and that hurts my heart that the black people are like that. I'm tired. This goes about the things you're talking about. The reason why I'm speaking about all these things is because I'm tired. I've been tired. I was tired when I didn't move. I'm tired to see the righteous people of the planet Earth.
Yep.
The black woman is the only woman on the planet Earth that can make black, brown, red, yellow, white, purple. How you the only person on the planet Earth that can do that? She's the only one. There's nobody else. Nobody.
Facts.
Nobody. Everybody else only duplicates themselves. She could be a dark black woman with a dark black man and have a light skinned baby.
Yep. Anything.
You understand?
Yep. That's real.
That's power, man. So if she's that way and she comes from the black man, who the fuck are we? We gotta be the shit.
Yep, but a
lot.
lot.
And you mean to tell me we taking all the power that we have as being the fucking shit, and we killing each other senselessly?
Yeah.
That's what we doing with this power? That's stupid, man.
Yep.
That makes us the stupidest fucking man on the planet, bruh. So I'm tired as well. Like you said, I am tired black man. And I'm with the shits too. That's the worst part. I'm with the shits. I don't want you playing with my people. I don't want you disrespecting my peoples at all. If me and you together, don't be stepping on his foot. Don't be pushing him around. Don't be talking gangster to him. Nah, because now I'm ready to die.
Yep.
This is the indoctrination that's been put in us from 400 years ago, from person to person, the grandmother, the grandson, the granddaughter, the mother,
Passed
the son.
down heredity, yep. And it's so hard to shake, even
What?
Yep.
Because it's life. It became life. But that's what we're doing. This is the part we don't understand. It's like we're doing and acting like the one who oppressed us.
Facts.
That's all it is. That's why we be like, oh, you black ass nigga. We said that like that's a bad thing. No, first of all, if you're dark skinned black, that means the sun loves you. The natural sun is going to make you even strong. You got the strongest melanin on the planet when you're like that. That's the superpower as a fucking black person, that melanin.
I mean, you said it. I think you said it on that Freedom of Death. You the strongest man on the planet. Dark or black man, Asian and Hispanic.
I love you, kid. You know your shit, boy. You know your yo. I told you, I only say what I gotta say, man.
Yep.
I only say what I gotta say, man. I cannot be fake. I'm not gonna be unreal.
And you know what? I'm thankful because, to be honest with you, I'm gonna just keep it real, like, cause we didn't grew up and we didn't heard so many different artists and a lot of them, they kick stuff that sound good and it sound real and it sound like they down. And sometimes you meet these people and you get so disappointed because it ain't necessarily in their, well, it ain't for me to judge and say what's in their heart, but I remember, I'm gonna go slightly off topic. I remember a few years back I did some stuff with the Outlaws and I brought them over to the UK, and I was trying to explain and convey to young Noble of the Outlaws just the importance of what Tupac and the message and the music, and he was just like, yeah, and I'm like, but even talking to you thus far in the stuff that I said, I could see that you receive and you appreciate on just the level that, so it's a two-way thing, but there's a lot of artists out there as well. They kick the deep stuff, and it ain't for me to say that they ain't really deep like that, but sometimes you try and show them that I received that message and they just, get nothing back from them, so that can be quite disappointing. So I just want to salute you on that too as well.
Oh man, thank you, man. But I wish you stopped saluting me, man, because I'm nobody who's done nothing. You leave it up to me. I've done nothing and I'm nobody because my people are still fucking killing each other.
Man.
So my job is nowhere near done. So it's hard for I take the little accolades and I appreciate them. I ain't done what I need to do. I've done some things, and to a lot of people, it's a lot, and I agree. I've done some, I got some things, you know what I mean? But it's my true job has not been touched. My true job has not been touched because the people can't hear. They can't hear me talking on the song with Tupac about the black cop. They don't know that's what I'm talking to, like, the black cop in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Like, come on, man, what are you doing?
There you go.
We came here and changed, and our crime was being black. We came here and changed. And then, when they had to take the physical chains off, they put other chains on. So, It's like, how don't we realize that? That's all we dealing with.
It's tough because, like you said, not everybody at the same even level of just, not even just intellect, but even being able to process what's going on. And a lot of us, we hurt. A lot of us, we don't. It's like when you mention certain things to some black folk and they just go quiet. They don't want to really entertain the notion of it. It's just easier to, a lot of hurts happen. Yeah, I think we're still in that hurting process overall, man. So, and of course we are, cause we still hurting each other as well. So, the hurt ain't stopped for many years.
It's sad, man. It's really, 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 really sad to be the original people of the planet, the original kings,
Facts.
The original builders, the original people with math and science, the original people who have love and compassion and this, that, and the third and can build this and that. And for us to be against each other, they have tried to take us out many times. They just can't do it. If you kill a black man, you kill the whole planet.
Everybody, they ain't gonna exist. So, which I do. believe that. I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but cause we got a lot of other listeners and we ain't trying to offend no other listeners out there, but we're talking facts and we're talking science, and we can get into it from many levels, but it's funny you say that, because I was thinking earlier that we're so not necessarily hated by others, and I was thinking in one aspect, nobody doesn't ultimately have the power or control to sort of hold us down, but they overrule us by our own ignorance or lack of knowledge, and because if most people even knew who they was and felt and really was firing from that, then other people couldn't really treat you like shit. They couldn't really look down their nose at you. They couldn't look at you as any less than what you are. But because most of us, we don't know nothing, and we've come into a new sort of programming where they've been able to program people with a new sort of identity of what to accept, of what it is to be, whether it's human, whether it's black, whether it's Afro, whatever it is, through all these titles and stuff like that. So people's minds have just been completely sort of reset and reprogrammed, which is I think a big part of the problem. And not just black people, all people, but
yeah, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a white man that's going to be tired for the black man. He's going to be tired. He's going to be the one that'll be like, listen, man, this shit going to stop.
Yep.
Well, He'll be the one that say, the real hard, you niggas is going to stop this acting like niggas shit.
Well,
black man.
I think as we've seen a lot of things, a lot of black people, that's the only time they're going to listen is really when it comes from somebody white or somebody else, because we've had so many teachers and scholars in different ways, teach us and try and raise us up. And some have been risen up, but a lot of people, they ain't listening to no other black folk, man, unless it comes from somebody they deem as from the establishment with certain kind of credit. And it's like, okay, it's okay to listen to them. We can listen to what they say and accept.
It's going to be Eminem. It's going to be Eminem and shit.
I mean, what
Eminem's going to be like, oh, you niggas is acting stupid now. That's it. I had enough. That's it. Stop killing each other. Cut it out.
I mean, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think of Eminem? I won't go too much on Eminem, but one thing that always not got me. One thing that always interested me when I used to see all these rappers, God, and they would all be like, they'd all put M in their top 5, and I'd think, that just sound like politics to me, because not to take away nothing from the guy's talent, but I don't think there would be so many rappers like, Redman, all these people in there all putting M in their top 5, and I was thinking, I don't know, this all seem a bit.
Eminem is not my top 5. He's in my top 10.
Okay.
He's in my top 10. Because Lil Wayne, see, I didn't even get to finish about the Lil Wayne shit. Real quick, when I battled Lil Wayne ended up going to college. When he went to college, he took up linguistics. When he came from college, he did a song called Fireman. And from there, he was one of the best after that. He learned how to rap learned how to rhyme after that. After that, you couldn't stop him. And Lil Wayne will fuck Eminem up.
Yep.
And that's coming from a fucker that writes. He will fuck Eminem up. If you want to talk being creative and just telling any kind of story, whether it be real or fake, Eminem, Lil Wayne will fuck him up. He'll fuck him up bad. Eminem had to do extra shit to try to keep up with Lil Wayne on the tracks that they did together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you listen to him closely, he had to do a lot of shit to try to keep up with that boy. So Eminem is a good artist, a great artist. You know what I mean? He's, as you heard, like I did one of his beats.
Oh yeah, with the remix.
If you notice on the song, I just did a lot of fucking cussing. Cause it's to show them, cause people that was putting him number 1 and over Jay-Z and all that, they was bugging out, man. You gotta listen to content.
Yep.
So when I did the Eminem joint, it was a mockery of saying, oh, this is what y'all call hot? The fucking this and fucking that. And fucking, it's probably one of the songs I cursed the most ever.
Okay.
And
you know what? It's crazy you say that. But now that you say that, it makes sense. Cause I didn't really notice it that much, but there is a lot of cursing on there.
There's a lot of cursing there because
I leave motherfuckers ready to red man. God damn. Yep.
It's just a way of saying I'm on an Eminem beat. This is what Eminem does, and for somehow y'all motherfuckers don't see the shit.
Oh yeah.
So that's why That's why I did it like that.
Okay, that's
I'm telling you, I was on Eminem body one day. He said, Rap God, oh, he was in trouble. He was in trouble. I was mad at him because I'm like, yo, you out of all people, you know better than associate the white man with God. You know better. So I got tight at him about that shit. Yep. Don't be trying to find nothing with you and no God. Like, come on, man. Keep your respect. Don't fuck up. I got tired of him. So I wrote about 6 or 7 songs at Eminem for that white rap God shit.
Did you ever release any of them or just kept it unreleased?
No, I actually did it when I fell, ill from my car accident and couldn't walk. It was one of the things I did to pass time.
Okay.
Which was bad. I had time to think. But yeah, man, you're not no rap God. You got these people gassing you up. Don't get gas. Because listen, I can't say, oh yeah, I'm me. I got to say, listen, Master P saved my life. Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that man. And what happened with Eminem, you wouldn't be Eminem if you wasn't with Rod Digger and the East Siders in New Jersey. If you wasn't listening to all the black music in the world, you wouldn't be you. And if you was black, they probably wouldn't even listen to you like that. Not saying that you're not talented and skillful. It's just that if you was black, that wouldn't make no sense to us.
Yeah, I think, Benzino said that before, and he got a lot of negativity for it. And to be honest, I think, some people were riding with him because of it. And, Pace One, as you mentioned, from the Outsiders, he actually did release a song where he expressed that, where Eminem had taken their inner expression and turned it into a bit of a joke style and stuff like that, which, a lot of people weren't really up on the music. They wouldn't really know all of that. So yeah, yeah, and Rod, as you said, Rod Digger from the Outsiders as well. Before, she was like Outsiders Flip Mode first, Outsiders then Flip Mode. So
now that's another story because Rod Digger was there when I battled Busta Rhymes, and she was like, "Holy shit!" the whole time. She was looking at him like, "You're not gonna win this one." Right. Like she knew.
Yep.
She nobody else in there wanted no parts. Put it like that. Ain't nobody try to jump in. Ain't nobody try to say nothing slick out their mouth. Everybody was like, yo, you an ill nigga. That's all they kept saying. Even KRS-One. Like, yo, and plus, that's what you don't understand. I'm an uptown nigga. Now, I live in Brooklyn, but my family's all in the Bronx. So, KRS-One, someone I look up to, was in the room when I battled him. Oh, I'm going to kill you.
Yep. And was Scott LaRock there? Was Scott LaRock there as well?
Scott LaRock was, you got to remember, this was 97, 98 or 97, one of them.
Okay.
Scott LaRock got murdered in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I did a remix to Just Ice. It's called You Noticed That. You ever saw that on YouTube?
Well, I think that's why I mentioned it because I just remember you shouting out. You was probably doing some shout outs on one of those songs. That's the one where that's that. Oh yeah, actually yeah, that's what it is. That's the song where it is on YouTube, and you start it off and then on the old school, then you flip it.
Right. But yeah, that was when I said his name, Scott LaRock, that was how KRS-One had said it years and years and years and years ago. So I just, shouted them out.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like an old recording that you had from before or something. Yeah, it's all good. So on that note, we're gonna wrap this up kind of soon. I just we got probably a couple more questions. I wasn't sure if we should touch on the Snoop Dogg Malice in Wonderland. But I mean, we could touch on that lastly because I mean we still gonna chop it up anyway, and we can always go in for maybe a part 2 and stuff. At the minute where we've been recording at now, we've probably even gone over like an hour and 38 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is we'll go into the Snoop Dogg Malice in Wonderland. We'll speak a bit about that, and then to end off, I'm gonna probably ask you what some of your favorite No Limit albums could have been that you didn't listen to, or who could have been one of your favorite artists on No Limit who didn't really we may not expect. So yeah, in terms of the Snoop Dogg thing, cause Snoop, once again, another form of Tank Dog, and we're all about the unity and stuff like that, but we gotta explore just things that happen, and sometimes these things ain't nothing that crazy. We understand music. We seen the a Malice in Wonderland sort of Snoop Dogg diss pops up on YouTube a few years ago. What was the story behind that? Cause you kind of put a little smoke on him lyrically.
Okay. Well, Snoop was the biggest thing in No Limit.
Yep.
First of all, and Snoop had came to me about writing for my sons at one point in time. Now, mind you, when Snoop first came out, I'm an East Coast nigga. I just didn't feel it. I was like, he an ABC rapper.
Yeah.
He rhyming like the ABCs, and I just didn't feel it. Now, after a while, I began to respect because he had a joint called Murder Was the Case, and he had a couple joints that was hot, and no doubt about it. So I began to respect him, a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but I'm a battle rapper. This is what people didn't. What people got to understand when they talking and listen to me. All I did in prison, all I did on the street was battle rap. I be in 100, 200 people watching me battle whoever. That's where I come from. So for me to be on somebody's tip was difficult. You had to be either a real type of nigga or you could spit your ass off for me to fuck with you. So what happened with Snoop, he wanted to write something for my kids, and to me, I'm like, you can't rap, so hell no. And that was in my mind, you know what I mean? But I respected him. So that Master P shut that down. So Snoop didn't get to write for them, which was cool. Everything was cool. Me and Snoop was alright. I finally fucking around and smoked with Snoop. That's the last time I would ever do that again. I'm serious, man. Listen, that's no lie. I don't give a fuck. If Snoop passed me a cigarette, I don't want it.
Oh, shit.
I smoked something with Snoop. We was outside of the tank in Baton Rouge. And me and my sons came out. We was all kicking and talking and shit. And I sent them, to the hotel and shit. That was right beside the tank. All the tank dogs be up in there. So he rolled up a blunt. We was just kicking and talking. Like, man, I'm learning to care for him as a tank dog, and that's the worst thing that could happen, because now that I care for him, better not nobody say or do nothing to him, period.
Yeah.
I don't care about no Suge Knight. I don't care about no whoever. Don't come near him. So he rolled up a blunt. He hit it, whatever. He passed it to me. I'm just whatever. Now I'm from the East, nigga. Pass that shit. He passed that shit. I took one hit. And I looked at him. He had 12 heads and some bowls in his shit. I said, I'm out of here. That's it. I left him alone. That was the last time I would ever smoke with that guy.
I mean, did you find out from him what it was he was smoking?
Yeah, but he was smoking. I didn't want to do. I didn't want no smoke. Over. So anyway, everything started happening at No Limit. You like beats by the pounds start to leave. People trying to sue P, this, that, and third. I didn't leave on a bad note with P. So anyway, I goes to LA in 2000. This is in the 2000s now, when No Limit pretty much is kind of everybody's going there which way. This may be 2004, 2000 something. So I'm in LA. It's NBA All-Star Weekend. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
So NBA All-Star Weekend in LA. So
Okay.
I see Snoop. I saw Warren G. Me and Warren G kicking and shit. He took me to Snoop. Me and Snoop gave love to each other. Bishop John Wall was there. I was just thinking about this stuff. Everything was good. So I'm telling Snoop how I wrote a movie for him and Damon Wayans. So he's interested. He's like, word? But it sounded like he keep wanting me to go into detail about the movie. But me not really knowing the business, I held back what I could hold back.
Of course.
I told him as much as I could or whatever. So he's interested in the movie. It was called Dog Catcher. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he said, listen, man, I'm going to be in New York this date at BET at such and such o'clock. Yo, meet me over there. I said, all right. He said, yo, meet me over there. I said, all right, man, I'll be there. So that day came months later. I come over there with the script to BET. Everybody know me at BET, so I was cool. I got there before he did. And I'm over there with the script and everything, waiting on Snoop. Boom, Snoop shows up. So as soon as he come in, I'm in there chilling. Mind you, I'm an ex-No Limit soldier, and he is too.
Yep.
So we both in there. He see me doing what I do. He doing what he do. Snoop Dogg lit up a fucking blunt at BET 106 in Park. And it stunk the whole fucking place up. I was so mad at him because his kids in there.
Word. Okay. Yeah, for real.
I was mad. I'm a 5%er, man. We really more with the knowledge more than anything.
Of course.
So I was mad at him for that. And I had to try to shield it from him. Say, yo, man, why are you smoking that shit up in here with these babies up here? That's what I wanted to say to him, but I didn't say it. So anyway, we started talking about the movie and shit. He was like, okay, but tell me this and tell me that. This, and this. And I was like, I got the script right here. He's like, all right, well, let me take it. And I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I was funny about giving my music to P. Anything I write, I'm funny about separating from it. So I ain't saying it was the best move, whatever. But I told him no, whatever. Next thing you know, he was like, yo, I'll be right back. So he was going to the bathroom or something. So he left out the dressing room. I was chilling. Something told me, yo, go outside and smoke a cigarette. So I goes outside to smoke a cigarette and see this motherfucker getting in a car and leaving.
Wow.
So he broke his word, right?
Yep.
So I was so mad, man. I was so mad that I went and I wrote that song. That's when that song came out. What is that? Drop It Like It's Hot?
Yeah,
That's
okay.
when it came out.
Okay, yeah.
That came out. So I went right to the studio on him. Same day. Went to the studio on him and wrote that song. And I said, for the shit you did at BET, you know what I'm saying? It's because he didn't keep his word. And you gotta understand, man, who I am as a person, I don't give a fuck who you are. Don't disrespect me in no manner because I'm always ready to die, which is stupid. Which is something I've got better at. You know what I'm saying? But,
You got finding the balance
within. Yeah, I've learned to better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because he dishonored his word of what he said he was going to do, I got super offended because I would have never done that to him. And at the time he did that, you know what I'm saying, I was, pretty much trying to find something to keep me from going back to the streets hard body.
Got you.
So it was almost out of desperation, kind of, but it wasn't, but it kind of was. And he abused that fact. And I got super offended and I wrote that rhyme about him. And like I said, honestly, to tell you the truth, the beat wrote the rhyme for me. Because if you listen to the first bars of the rhyme, it's not talking about him. Even though I went and did it that day, it wasn't talking about him. It just went into it. It went into the whole second verse became about Snoop. And at the end of the first verse, it became about Snoop. You know what I mean? I just let my frustrations out on him, and I was dead serious. Everything I said on there, dead serious. It wasn't no games. It wasn't, because I even said, yo, I don't want to fight you. I want to rhyme against you, but if you want to fight, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Everything was real. It wasn't no fake shit in there at all. Nowhere.
Yeah, we could feel the energy behind it. I mean, going forward from that, have you ever seen Snoop since that occasion or since you didn't?
Yeah. Now, what happened with that is the West Coast started getting at me. They started talking crazy to me. I was getting all kinds of death threats and fucking comments on video, internet, and all that type of shit. I ain't give a fuck. I'm like, whatever. But Snoop started doing something with his kids, and when I saw that, I couldn't get. I still can't get control of that channel on YouTube to take the video off because I would have took it off. I don't have control of it, and I don't know enough about the internet to get them to realize that I'm the one who put all that stuff up there. I wish someone could help me with that.
We can look. I mean, we can look into it. What channel is it? When we finish this, we can look into it anyway.
Yeah. So when I saw Snoop doing things for the babies, then I wanted to get rid of the video, but I couldn't get it off of there.
Got you.
So I issued an apology. I issued an apology to him like a man. Something I've never done, when it comes to this music. I never apologize, but I apologized to him. I said, yo, man, I see you doing things with the babies, man. You ain't got time for this. And I belittled myself as much as I could. You ain't got time for this punk bullshit, this little street bullshit, dumb shit. You doing big things. I appreciate you as a man, and I should have thought better. And, I said everything I could to make the people who like the song say, you know what, let me respect Snoop because Snoop is out here doing things for these babies. And that's what made me fall back. You know what I'm saying? But one time I thought he said something slick. I jumped right back on his ass. It took him 2 seconds for me to think he was talking to me, and I jumped on his ass real quick. I'm a fucked up person.
Well, that's that short. Well, we see why you call it. That's that short fuse right there.
Yeah. 2 seconds. It was all right. Fuck this nigga. I'm gonna kill this nigga. It's on. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Snoop. Well, on that note, we'll tie it up even on that note, cause that's a nice segue, even going from Snoop, who, as you said, a former, No Limit label mate, still a soldier in his own right. So even on that note, what will probably be interesting and what I want to ask is, and this could be anyone, what was one of your favorite No Limit albums or artists? So, what? Ooh. Yo.
Stop playing with me.
I love it.
Commission. Stop playing.
I love it.
Steady bobbing. Stop playing. Billy Bathgate. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop. Listen, man. Before I go into all of that, let me just say this.
I mean,
nobody don't want no problems with me on that mic, man. And he'd be the first one to tell them, whatever you do, don't try to battle this guy because he's not gonna stop. He's just not. He's not going to stop. You know what I mean? But, back to this. As far as my favorite people on No Limit, Ghetto Commission.
GC. Yep.
When I say scary, man, I'm talking, I think about lyricists. And the lyrics that they got and how they put them, they had a Tupac way about them, man. I'm only calling it Tupac because Tupac was known for a certain kind of reality.
Yeah, no, rap. Real shit. Yeah, I know it.
That was untouchable. I can't even touch it. To me, he's the best to ever do it. Yeah. To me, Tupac.
Yeah.
I can't touch it.
I'd attest with that.
Talking about So Many Tears. And If I Die Tonight,
yep.
And the Machiavelli album, you're talking some shit that just Biggie couldn't touch that shit. And I was fighting with people in Brooklyn, and people just like, yo, why are you talking like Biggie? Tupac can't do nothing but flow. I'm like, bro, those are the lyrics, fool.
Yeah,
he playing with us niggas like this is light work for him.
Yep, they don't understand that.
Y'all don't understand it. This nigga's crazy.
Yep.
Tupac's Me Against the World is my favorite album.
Yeah, one of mine too, man. Definitely.
I gotta listen to it again.
I think I'm a
goddamn album was crazy. And at the time he did that, I was a warrior on these streets so hard, and that was my only friend. That was my only friend. That was the only thing I trusted was that album. I didn't trust nobody around me. I didn't trust the streets. I didn't trust nothing. I trusted that album. That album to tell me how vicious I was at that point in my life. So, Ghetto Commission when I heard them on the Little Soldiers joint, oh my God, man. I ain't living right. Please, Lord, guide me through. I'm going through the fence line. Yo, they was going crazy on that fucking song on the Boot Camp album. That's one of my favorite. Yo, it's so hard. This is why, you know, man, I got so much to tell you. Damn.
Well, that's why we're definitely gonna have to do. Damn, we're gonna have a part 2, 3, 4, all that, man.
Yeah. You just gotta write down shit. Don't let me forget about talking about Ghetto Commission and the Little Soldier album. But Ghetto Commission, they was seriously ill. Sons of Funk, they was super talented. I had one of the best songs in the world with them. And Mia X, stupid with it. Mystical. Me and Mystical did a video song together, and we kind of like battled each other on this song. Nobody knows about this, but Niggas in the Tank. It was very, very tense and very serious. I still got some of the pictures. The music has been burnt up and stolen and all types of shit.
Crazy.
So I don't have it, but somebody has it. But on that song, Mystical was kind of like, you know, because I was just like that dude at the tank. And Mystical was like, you that new dude, but I'm the dude. That's what he kind of was saying.
Yeah.
And on my verse, I'm like, I'm taking everybody out. Big Pun, Little Pun, this black dude, I'll take anybody out. That's when Pun was living. Whoever was at the top, I was coming at the goofy, period. Mystical got on the song and basically said, okay, yeah, you're a real street dude, this, and this, but can you do this? And what he did, when Master P put us on the song together, I wrote my shit like in, I don't know, an hour or less. Silk didn't even write his shit. It took him about 5 hours. No, I'm bugging. It took him a couple hours to get it recorded, but he didn't write it down. He wanted to be like a Jay-Z at that time.
Yeah.
That's what we saw his competition at. So he didn't write shit down. He stopped writing. Once he heard Jay-Z didn't write rhymes, it was over for him. He wasn't writing shit.
Yeah.
He was going to, yeah. So on that same song is called "We Run the Streets," which was my single, and Mystical got on there, and like I said, he was talking about me being, it wasn't saying me, but he was just talking like the street niggas, but I know he was talking to me.
Of course.
And what he did, he asked for a thesaurus. Mind you, I'm from the street at this time. I don't know no goddamn thesaurus is. But to me, it was a rap book. To me, it was a rap book with words that rap and shit. So I'm lost respect for him right there when he had a book right in his verse for my song.
I remember.
I'm walking by him in the studio laughing at him like, look at this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And when he finished, 5 hours later, when he finished writing his verse, 5 hours later, yo, that shit was so hot and creative. That shit was so creative and hot. I was like, oh shit.
You did that?
The girl started writing, and it was taking them forever.
Yep.
It was serious. Updated.
Oh, shit, they're running interference. Yeah, you with me, God? These devils running interference. Yeah, I'm back with you. They running interference on this line, man. Oh yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah, I was saying that I just was looking down on Mystical when he used the thesaurus. I really thought it was a fucking rap book, and I looked down upon him. But what he did with it, he came out very creative with it, man. And I'm sorry that he's going through the shit he's going through. He's really a cool guy, man. Be a cool guy. Them New Orleans people in New Orleans, man, they are born killers, man. Let me tell you, they born killers. Master P almost killed me a few times coming to the house. You know, he used to be on the, all right, we do the show. We used to do shows and jump straight in the van and go back to the mansion. Me, I'm going to get me some pussy. I'm not playing with these down south bitches, these out west bitches. I'm going to get me some chicks. So we would get back to the mansion and I would jump in one of the Bentleys or whatever we had and I'm out. I'm gone. And so sometimes I would come back a little late. But Master P, I'm the only one who ever seen him sleep. Nobody never seen this man sleep. That's real talk. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a true fact. If you ask people, have they
ever seen that man sleep? Yeah, yeah.
They never sleep. I caught him sleep one time. It was on our way from Houston to New Orleans. That's the only time I got a picture. I got the picture with him sleep. Nobody never seen that man sleep. They never seen him sleep. Just like they never seen Elijah Muhammad never seen Master Farad sleep. Never seen it.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
But anyway, yeah, son. So I forgot what I was talking about. I went deep somewhere. Oh yeah, I used to come to the mansion a little late, and when I walk up, you just see all type of dots on me, red dots from the pistols. Master P used to be in the window. He didn't know who I was. And I used to have to pull my tank out. It's me. Colonel, it's me. Then he opened the door. He'd be like, man, sir, man, I told you, man, leave these gimps alone out here, man. I was like, Colonel, she was too thick. I had to go see her. He'd be like, I understand, man. You know what I mean? But, you know I'm a free spirit. You'll always see me right next to him. You look on the Source Awards when he won the Source Awards.
Yep,
I'm right next to him. You look at the
BET.
You look at the BET American Music Awards. I'm right next to him. Like when we go to award shows, people would just jump. The sprinters, we used to, they wasn't sprinters then, but they would jump out whenever we came in, and they would just be going to fuck with the girls. So this, that, and third. Me, I'm with the Colonel. So I'm listening to everything. I'm chilling. I'm going through whatever, but I'm right next to him. I'm not leaving his side. You know what I'm saying? So when it was time to leave his side, I used to haul ass. So that's how that went.
Yeah, that's a cool. That's a cool story. Even a bonus little story right there. So yeah, that's dope. One more thing, I want to ask you on this one. We heard a C Murder track out that and C went so deep on it. He a rider for the revolution, which we know, and my nigga Freedom. Can you see him? And I'm thinking, where was Freedom on that track? What's going on with that track, man?
Don't want me to tell you that story. See, that goes back to the Busta Rhymes thing.
Oh
now,
shit!
You gotta listen to that carefully. He was talking to Busta Rhymes.
Oh shit! Yeah.
He was talking to Busta.
God with no limit. Now these niggas on the bill.
Right.
Damn.
Exactly.
Damn.
That's what he was. Murder was just a rider, man.
I can tell.
He
Yeah.
was going through the beat for Busta, and he didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a flying fuck. Let's get him. You fucking with my artist, you fucking with me. That's how C Murder took that shit. I got the full song. That motherfucker was not playing. That's one of his best verses ever.
Yeah.
With me.
Yep. You can feel a whole different. I mean, C, he definitely got that warrior spirit, and yep. I like that. Can we ever? Is there a way we gonna ever hear that the OG track from that?
Yeah. I'm gonna let that out. But what happened was he say C Murder on it so much, I didn't want to fuck with his case in no kind of way. And the shit he's talking about on there, even though I take it away from him and start talking about Black Man on that song.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to that as soon as we get off this phone.
Man.
I started talking about, I didn't tell you to see Murder just happened. We happened to be at Master P's house one night. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. C came over and shit, and my man was up. Who was it? Damn, I know his name. I forgot his name. He rapped too, man. But he made a beat. and he was playing the beat, and I was vibing. I was in P's studio. You catch the elevator downstairs of P's house, and when you get off the elevator, as soon as it opens, it's the studio. And so I'm in the studio, vibing out to that shit. Oh, he flew off. He went to go.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, you there?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know. Yeah, this shit kind of be bugging.
Yeah,
So you said you was in this. You went downstairs the elevator to the studio.
Yeah, when you come in the mansion, you know, to your left, there's an elevator. When you get on that elevator, it goes floors. The third floor that it goes to is the studio. And Murder happened to come in that night and saw me in there, and I told him to get on this track with me, and he did, and he went off. And I guess he knew I was going through with Busta Rhymes at that time, because I just did bring my
Brothers here.
He went crazy, man. He went crazy and then left. Gave me that love and left. That was my homie. He did see Murder.
That's
man.
crazy. Well, it's funny because
Dude,
there's a story like that for how the Down From My Niggas song got recorded, and they say same thing. He just went to the studio, went crazy, laid it down, left it out because they were fucking with Snoop then. So he kind of you know, he definitely.
Yeah, that was Snoop songs.
Yep. So see,
yeah, that was Snoop shit.
I'm hoping, you know, see Case, man.
Murder, man.
Yeah, I hope, you know, one day we ain't stopped praying for him, and you know we've been screaming free C since they didn't held him. So hopefully by the good graces of God, one day that man could be home with his family and his kids and stuff. Most importantly, you know.
I'm fortunate, man. Good heart, man. His heart is good. And he was just like a Nipsey Hussle, man. He was that kind of person. Like, he stayed in the hood. He stayed going to the hood. You know, he was just that type of person, man. He just was. Silk was different. Silk was, you gotta understand, all the Miller boys got great hearts, man. Silk was just full of himself, though.
Yeah.
Silk, he wanted to do, and that took him. He wasn't no fake motherfucker. He did shit. And Silk, I keep telling people, they keep saying, yo, Silk was a horrible rhymer. He sounded like Blueface. Yo, Silk would kill Blueface freestyling.
Yep.
He would murder him. Like, it wouldn't even be a competition, man. Silk was nasty with the lyrics. You ever heard Executive Thug?
Oh yeah. I mean, Silk. That's
with me and Silk.
Oh yeah. You gotta really listen to what he's saying. But I didn't like every time you and Silk got together. You did some other stuff on his album. Did some ad libs and stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for my Yeah, I did a couple things on Silk shit. But Silk was my man. I stayed with him too. Me and him stayed together and shit. He ended up fucking with a lot of my homeboys from New York and Jersey. They got tight. Like, they used to see each other when I didn't see Silk. They would be in Cali with him or whatever. Silk he didn't care about money and all that type of shit. He didn't give a fuck about nothing. But that ultimately kind of destroyed him in hip hop, because he would get on the stage and kind of like put the mic out there for people just to sing his song instead of him performing it, and put slippers on. Like, Silk is the type to walk up on the stage with some sweatpants on, some flip flops, and go out there and do his shit. And I guess people got tired of that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they got tired.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So I think I'm gonna play that.
He had a.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that Executive Thug later when I get off this call. Definitely. I forgot about that Executive Thug. Yeah. You brought it back. You brought it back on me because I forgot about that one. But I'm gonna have to play that because especially. Yeah, that's you, Silk, and Slay Sean, right?
Yo. Slay Sean he wasn't really he couldn't rap to me, but he could put words together. But it wasn't him. You know what I mean? I almost killed Slay Sean one day at Silk's mansion. You know what I mean? Because he started like to me. After hearing me, you know, he wanted to write songs for Romeo like I did for Little Soldiers, you know, and then he was part of No Limit East. So, you know, it was a little rivalry there. But then, you know, because of P, I took him on in. And so when he comes to New York, you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he you know, I started fucking with him real crazy, and it wasn't that he couldn't rhyme to me. He was like a rapper to me. You know what I'm saying? So I began to, he was a Jadakiss to me. Like Jadakiss, if you listen to Jadakiss on a song, if the song is called Outside, he's gonna make something rhyme with outside at the end of the rap. To me, that's not.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? That's not really. That's not what I do. So I don't look at it as a threat. So when I say this one couldn't, you know, this one, I didn't look at him as a whatever. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, that's not a threat to me. And to me, I look for threats in this game. Tupac was a threat. DMX was a fucking threat. You understand? These people were threats in my world. I wasn't, you know, all the rest of them was just some rapping type of guys that I'll take out.
Yeah,
I'll wash them up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't look at Slay Sean like a big talent, you know, but he was a critiqued rapper. He could rap his ass off, you know, but it was just rap. It wasn't, you know, it was no backstory to it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you on that 100%. And that's what kind of separate, you know, just I guess the artists from the rappers, because even artistry go back to even being like griots and people that, you know, can really encapsulate something and tell a message through music where, as you said, we see so many spitters where, yeah, they got the talent to spit and they can put, you know, a few words together and stuff, but that substance of, I guess, and I guess that's what always separates those who are really in it from those who you know, just got a little something to do at the time, because you get some, so I hear that.
Say Sean wanted some money. Me, I didn't really give a fuck about the money. Which
of course, I mean you already say you 5%, so I know straight out the gate, you know, it's about higher than just money anyway, so I already know what it is, but yeah. So
right, it's about that knowledge.
Of course.
Even if you listen to the Little Soldier album, you hear a song called Okie Dokie. This was to stop these kids from disrespecting their parents and then growing up and being rebellious and growing up and being on drugs and out in these streets shooting guns and killing each other. This was what those songs was designed for. You know, you got songs on Little Soldier's album called like The Best in the World, where their cousin come on and say, I heard somebody better than y'all, and they like, what? We the best in the world. To keep your confidence up.
I remember.
You know, so that's what my whole shit was about. One of my favorite songs on Little Soldier's Boot Camp album is Chipped Out Tanks, where they go stupid with lyrics, and Okie Dokie, where they talking to the kids, Close to You, where they talking to the kids, Where the Little Soldiers At, which is stupid lyrical if you listen to it.
Of course, yeah.
God said, I'm the I in the alphabet. Who's thinking about that? You know, nobody's thinking about what name they are in the alphabet. They're just, my name is this, you know, and that's that. Yep. You know, my son said, I'm the I in the alphabet, Illin. Illin starts with I. I'm the I in the alphabet, Illin on tracks. I'm the T in Too Cool. Chilling like that. T, Too Cool, chilling like that. You know, it's just, we was doing lyrics.
Yep.
It was lyrics with us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it like I said, if it wasn't a threat, I didn't consider it to be nothing. If it wasn't now, the illest person on the tank, I'm sorry to bring this back up, Master P.
I'm actually.
First day
okay, go ahead.
No, listen. The first day, Master P, my sons was at the tank before me because I was locked up. And I had to get bailed out. Master P paid that high-ass bail. It was the highest bail in hip-hop ever. But anyway, when they flew me out there, you know, he had everybody waiting. And I came in there, and everybody was there. Everybody, Skullduggery was there. Full Blooded was there. You know, all the Hounds and Cain and Abel. Everybody was there. Cain and Abel was sick lyrically, too. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Mac, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Mac was a problem.
Mac was next level, man. Yeah, yeah.
No, Mac was a problem. Mac was one of those dudes. I was devastated when I got that news. I was at Cain and Abel house that they locked him up for murder. I was fucked up. But like I'm trying to explain to you, nobody on the tank was with don't play. There was no games. Everybody was real. Everybody had a gun. Everybody's riding around in big cars and Rolexes and, you know, got money in Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? Nobody was a gang. So Mac was another serious dude. But when I came there for the first day, Master P had everybody in the studio. Everybody started rhyming. Mac was there. He started rhyming. Everybody was good. I really didn't hear no threats. And in my own mind, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Then Master P went on. You wouldn't think this, but it's the truth. I swear it's the truth. Master P started rhyming, but he freestyled. And he put my name in it and how, you know, I just went through whatever I went through. And, you know, he was going to be there. The tank was going to be there for me and my sons. He almost made me cry, man. But the freestyling, this was off the top of his head.
Yep.
He murdered it. I went off. Trust me, I went off. But when Master P, like if you look on the time when I was on BT inside the booth, when it's time for me to rock, everybody kind of like got shit.
I remember. I remember.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what? I mean, shit. I remember even when you mentioned that, and if people look when you step up. And if you look in the back at P, he looks so proud of you doing your thing, man. You can see the pride in him that when you step up and you know you go, I block Sasquatch the streets, and P like, yeah, you know, don't let me eat that, you know, he's so proud. So I fuck with that shit, man.
Everybody knew how I was with them lyrics because let me tell you why. They saw me write songs for kids that were harmless, but then they heard my shit that was not harmless.
Yep.
You understand?
Of course, that's too much.
Switch them dimensions like that. I was doing 2 albums at one time. Ooh. You know, for 3 different people. So they like, God damn, this kid is amazing. And so when I step up to, when it come to me getting on tracks, it was straight respect. Nobody played with me. Nobody said no slick shit to me. None of that shit. Nobody, nothing. You know what I mean? So when I heard P, man, listen, man, I respected him as a weapon. I didn't respect him as no rapper. I said, oh, he's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He's a problem. That's what I said. When P started, I think P went after me. Yeah, I think he went after me because he was standing right next to me. And the cipher went from whoever was standing next to him to around. And I was standing right next to him, so it went to me, and then it went to him. And when I did my shit, everybody was like, oh, I see why they, you know, everybody was, you know, giving me 5. And, you know, I could see the approval in people's eyes, like, yo, this nigga's sick. Yep. I did one of my best points. But, man, when P got on that shit, boy, free off the top of his head, because he was rhyming about what was going on right then and there. Man, when he did that, man, my eyes opened up like, okay, there's the problem. Like, okay, they mystical. It's not this one. It's not that. It's this motherfucker right here. That's the P. That's who it was. And Master P, what he had with him was a confidence. So therefore, I could be doing a track, or Mystical would be doing a track, or Silk, or whoever. And he'd be like, all right, let me get on this. And he'd just jump on there and do his due. But what P was doing was watering down what he actually could do for the money, for the business side of it, because he was a businessman.
Of course, yeah,
so
yeah.
What you're hearing from him all them albums, besides About It and maybe a few other, they was just business movements.
Yep.
What he really could do, you ain't hear none of that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a true story. That motherfucker, that's why he could sign people, because he was confident in himself. He'd get on the track with anybody. Did you ever hear him and me on a song called Do Rag?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I love that.
I'm the hottest nigga.
Fuck where you been at. Circuit like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, that was, and that
I
was
think
my mind state.
that could have been around 2000, around that time. I think. Well, maybe when it released. Y'all probably did it before, but
Yeah, that was crazy. He changed me to putting on them South beats and stuff like that. And if you want to hear something straight No Limit East from me, it's a song called That's How It Is.
Man, shit, God, you took the word out of my head. I was just about to say it before you spoke, because that's on is that when you're on the Mike Diesel beat and you laid down on that? You laid down, yeah. I didn't heard that. I was just about to. So
yeah, that's a straight, like, that was a Freedom No Limit East track. Like, that's what's setting off No Limit East. And it was bad because Diesel didn't want to give it up, and I snatched it. So it's a bad recording of it. But that's me. That's how I was coming.
Yep.
You know, if my dick was 4 inches, I could still fuck dimes. Get it?
Yep.
Dick 4 inches, still fuck dimes.
Crazy. So, harder than you get off my boat.
Yeah. Harder than you get off my boat, because the waves in my flow make y'all all get soaked.
Yeah. I love that shit. Even just how you kick it out. Is that the one you circling the big boy with the Desi bird, sunk in the seat, right. We about 8 deep. Yeah. Oh, come on, man. No haters with me, just me and the team. Like, that's some, come on.
Playboy century. Yeah.
And then you,
hell yeah, you know your shit, man.
Yeah, man, shit.
You know your shit, man. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. But yeah, man, that's a lot. That's a lot, and we ain't even scraped the surface of what I went through with No Limit, let alone No Limit East, let alone Little Soldiers.
Of course. Well, I just want to say, man, we got to give you, I know you say you feel like your great work hasn't been completed, but I'm definitely going to give you your salutations for everything that's been done thus far, whether folks are aware or not, because, it's all out there in the ethers. So, all right, I got to give you your props, so salute on that, soldier. And going forward, they're going to get to hear some of this unreleased stuff on this No Limit East mixtape. We're going to do some international stuff and just really mix things up. So for the fans out there listening, y'all just getting the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, man. Yep.
Black Farms. Let's do it.
So
let's do it. I said that in one of my songs too. I think I said that in a song called Roam These Trenches.
Oh, I love Roam.
I think.
Okay, I'm gonna listen back because I like that Roam These Trenches. That's one of my jams.
Black Farms as well. Snap a lot, collar up, a black. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh shit, yeah, you do right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, snap a lot, collar up, the Black Farms of Relly. I hate rhyming, and I hate, and like I said, this shit is deeper than rap, man. I got all these songs, man, because it's something in me that got to come out.
I know that. I feel that exactly the same, and that's where it's just that that's the lane that it's chosen to sort of come out.
It's bad, man, because, it's bad, man. It's really bad because I went up to the 9th grade in school. I have no idea where the fuck I got these words from. I have no idea. The first song I ever wrote, right? I would have to say Knowledge of Self, because now I think about it. Because the first song I ever wrote The first couple of bars I said, horizon on the lyrics to explain my poetry. Rebels want a jock for the simple cause they know of me. Make the rhyme funky for your mind, your composition. Lift rhythm, tone for style and status. Just doing some intelligent shit. You know, like I said, I used to listen to KRS-One.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the rest of the big boys. But these words, I didn't know how the fuck I put these shits together. How I even started rhyming has to do with Jay-Z and Jazzo. I told you that story, correct?
Not in this. No. Jazzo shit. That's a whole different dimension right there.
That's my family.
Oh wow! And you know what? In 2007, when I was just kind of putting together a little mixtape myself. Don't ask me how I did it, but somehow I ended up just on the internet and, networking. I ended up with the guy Jazzo number, and I called him, and he actually did me like a shout out and all that. He didn't know me from anywhere, but, a real good brother, man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Johnny, man. That's Johnny.
Johnny Einhorn, man, the Brooklyn Bound G.
Right. That's where it all kind of started at, man. With Jazzo. Jazzo is related to my cousin. My cousin, his mother had 7 children, and one of the fathers of her children is related to Jazzo. Jazzo has another cousin. His name is Jerome Battle. He lives in Bedford, Virginia. Now, when I came down there to Bedford, Virginia on the run where my family was at, this was in the 80s. When I went there, me and Jerome became good friends. Jerome was a rapper. Now, I used to spit and everything, but I never wrote nothing down. That was the thing. I used to just come straight off the head. We was doing routines up north. So, when I went down there, I had all these freestyles off the, head and everything. But Jerome was in the studio. I had never been in no studio. So, Jerome his rap name was Almighty Jay-Z.
Oh, wow.
This is a crazy story. Right. So his name was Almighty Jay-Z. Right. So, Jazzo was the big homie. He was the big cousin. You know what I mean? So, one day, Jazzo and Jerome was at, whose house? They was at somebody's house. Jay-Z pulled up. Right? This was back in the days. Jay-Z pulled up to come and get Jazzo and take him to Brooklyn. And so, everybody was in there. We was all chilling. Niggas was rapping and all this type of shit. I didn't think nothing of it. Jay-Z wasn't big at the time. Jazzo was, though. Jazzo was signed.
Okay.
And so this was before Hawaiian Sophie.
Right.
This was before that.
Okay.
And so Jazzo had the 2 people that was under him, which was his cousin, Almighty Jay-Z, who was Jerome Battle, you can look that up, and Sean Carter, who was Jay-Z.
Right.
So these were the 2 Jay-Z's. This is true story.
That's crazy.
So they actually there's a magazine that got both of them in it, and it's I can't remember. I saw it in prison. I thought I stole it, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I gotta look through my paperwork. But anyway, it's a picture with all of them on a photo. All of them, Jazzo and Jay-Z and Jay-Z. But Almighty Jay-Z, Jerome Battle. When Jazzo and Jay-Z left, he came to my house the next morning. In the morning, he knocked on the back in the basement. I opened the door and he said, "Yo, man, I'm going to the studio later on today. I want you to come with me." I was like, "All right, I'll pull up, I'll come." And he said, "I want you to write something and get on the track with me." I was like, "All right." So I found a notebook. True story. Found a notebook through my aunt's house. Got a pen. I wrote 10 songs. This was something I didn't even peep what was going on. I wrote 10 songs that day. So when he came home, he came in from the school, was right in the back of my house. He came to my house, knocked on the door, opened the door and shit. He's like, yo, you gonna come with me? I said, yeah. He said, did you write something? I said, yeah, I wrote something. And I passed it to him. He said, he was going through it. He said, you wrote all this? I said, yeah. He said, today? I said, yeah. I said, when you woke me up, I started writing. He said, you wrote all this today. I wrote 10 songs. To me, it was nothing. I didn't realize it. But to him, it takes him 3 weeks to write that many songs. To write something.
I got you.
So this is why and from that point on, when he let me know that, I made it my business to write more than everybody I know. So that's why I got thousands and thousands and thousands of songs right now, to this day. So that's how that happened. That's how I started writing rhymes, because of Jay-Z.
The almighty Jay-Z.
If you look on a song called Bedrock, I think it's called Bedrock on Lock a Block. Then after you get to the end of the video, you'll see me bring that up. You'll see me bring up Jerome and this, that, and the third. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a fucking crazy song. When Jazzo and Jay-Z got the beefing, I was at a Beyonce party, and I wasn't with Jay. I came there with my crew, and we was at a Beyonce party in Manhattan on a side block, and I saw Jay, and I was like the only one that could speak to him about it, because that's family. I walked up and let him know who I was. He kind of remembered, kind of didn't, and I was like, yo, man, back in the day when we used to be in Virginia, we used to run around in Maryland and all, I was like, yo, man, you and Jazzo go back too far, man. He was like, yo, it ain't me. He told me straight up, he said, it ain't me, it's him. And that's how me and Jay got cool and shit like that. I've been with Jay many times, man. We got, that's the big homie, man. I've been with him many times in his offices and, studios and parties and shit like that. The last time I seen Jay, I partied with him, LeBron James, Beyonce, of course, Zab Judah, everybody was there.
Oh,
that was for the Reasonable Doubt release after party.
Okay. Yeah.
That was on like the 65th floor, right across the street. Me and my son, Young Free, was with me, because Tata came out. Tata saw me, and he was like, yo, Jay upstairs, you want to go up? I looked at my son. My son was like, you stupid, Pop? Hell yeah. So we went up there, we partied with him and Beyonce all night. I danced Jay off the floor that night and everything. Yeah, man, good dude. I was there when Jim Jones and Hova started the beef. I was outside that day. Matter of fact, yo, man, I got too many stories, kids. Man, I got too many stories.
Yeah,
it's in the book, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. We can go into many, man. Well, I'm gonna stop this recording on this point right now, because if they want any more, they're gonna have to catch up at the next point. But we can chop it up. I'm gonna just stop this recording right now anyway.
Cool. Yo, thanks everyone for listening, man. I appreciate you. Support this king right here, man. This man is one of the real ones. That's how we call it on this side, man. This side of the planet, man. This man right here is one of the real. Support this man. Listen to this man. Check out what this man is doing. Check out the path that he's walking on and talking on and breathing on. Do the knowledge. Just give yourself 20 seconds, a minute. 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, 100 hours, and check out what this man is doing, so you don't miss something that you might regret years on down the fucking road. You might regret it, because he's one of the guys that got a shovel. If you don't see these guys with a shovel, leave them the fuck alone. This man has a shovel.
Talk to him.
He has a shovel. What that means? He's digging. And if he's digging, that means he knows the texture of the fucking soil. You understand? So please, do the knowledge to certain people. Stop letting certain people come across your timeline and you don't stop and say, who are you? What you're about? What do you think about this? Stop doing that. Start pulling these cats' coattails and ask them who the fuck they is, so you can find out something. Knowledge is everlasting, man. It doesn't stop. And a lot of these people have certain things that you might not have, and you have things that they don't have. This man has a lot of these things. He's one of them. We consider him one of the real. So this is a man that you ain't got to worry about faking no jacks. You ain't got to worry about him front stealing and all this type of sucker shit, because real ones don't do the sucker shit. And at the end of the day, people listen to our music because they say, you know what, them the real guys over there. Those the real gangsters, the real thugs, and those the guards. And we those guys, man. And we have the missing link. We are the magnetic piece, but you guys have to fulfill it in. You guys are just as real as well, but you don't know it because you don't know nobody like yourself. But you got to start pulling these people aside and asking them fuck who they are. Say hello. Say peace. Ask fucking birthdays and shit like we used to do back in the day. Wait, what's your birthday? And get into a conversation. So you can find out who you're stepping next to, who you're walking next to, who's on your timeline. You know, I appreciate y'all for listening, and I expect for y'all to support that man. When that man tell me to come out there, I'm pulling up. I want all the smoke, if there's smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up. Whatever's going to be done, I'm down to do it. You know, I want to give a shout out to the UK because y'all raised one of the best motherfuckers and one of the realest motherfuckers I know. You understand? And y'all listening to them right now. And over here, we call them the Fonz. You understand? That's the Black Fonz right there. It used to be me. It ain't me no more. That man has that type. You understand what I'm saying? So please, support. Pull that man over, find out what he's going through. Yo, shout out to the motherfucking UK for raising one of the realest. You know what I mean? This is Freedom Unique, a.k.a. Short Circuit, a.k.a. Lock a Blocks Down CEO. You understand what I'm saying? Father of Little Soldiers. Check us out on YouTube. We all over the place. We all over the Instagram and all that. I really don't know nothing about the internet, but I'm trying to learn. Young guy probably going to have to tell me how to do all that. But check us out, man. Support us, man. We got one of the biggest documentaries, one of the realest documentaries in hip-hop. It's going to be called Boot Camp Reloaded, and it's about the story of the little soldiers, and you heard some of the things that's going to be involved in that story, and it's way more, so you're going to enjoy it, so please, tune in, fuck with the real one.
Alright, peace God. I couldn't have said it better myself. And we're gonna be definitely looking forward to that Boot Camp Reloaded. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Lock a Block Down, No Limit, all of that stuff. Stay tuned to bat.online.com. Diary of a Tired Black Man.
Already know.
Alright, that's a wrap on that. Alright, God.